All right. Welcome everybody to the what was formerly known as the Slime Cast. It is now the Due to Copyright podcast. I am your host, Willie, aka Fetty. As always, joining with me right next in the cockpit is my second flyer, Mongo. Say hey. I just stuttered so bad. So-
I'm driving the plane. It's heading straight for the ground.
and today we have an up and coming streamer, the voice of the youths, a person from a place where I also live, a dude who is looking dapper today in the beanie, JMO.
Thank you for the great introduction, honestly. I couldn't have said it better myself.
And if anybody is wondering why we are late, it's because me and Mongo don't know how to be on time. It's actually me. Mongo was like super on time today.
Yeah.
I just was like, man, I'm gonna eat is time. But as always, sponsoring our podcast is Retro Tech Repair. You will hear more about them throughout throughout the segment. I got a stellar intros from the chat. Thank you. But okay, so it's been a while since we have convened. This is a once a week podcast to start the week or in the week with whatever you consider the calendar to be. JMO, for the people at home, go ahead and introduce yourself.
All right, so I'm Jamifier. I started streaming maybe about like 3 months ago. I was on Twitch like 6 years ago, but it never really like caught on because I was super young. I was just streaming off of like my PlayStation with the Apple headphone mic, but Willie Will Mr. Fetty himself actually got me into streaming when I was like at my parents' house. I was like playing with him on Pokemon Legends Arceus with the shiny hunts and whatnot. And I was like, man, this seems like something cool. This seems like something I would want to do. Like at that point, I was already streaming like Super Auto Pets, but Pokemon. I love the community. I've always wanted to be a part of it, and Will just got me into it. I don't know what else to say.
Well, I wasn't expecting that to be honest, but thank you.
Yeah.
Boost the
Yeah,
ego a little bit.
I was not expecting how early you started, really. Back, let's see, you said 7 years? That was what, 2015?
Yeah, 2015, 2014, around then.
Dang.
Like at first I was streaming like Black Ops 3.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I think Black Ops 3, that's when they introduced like the jet boots and running on walls and whatnot, right?
Yeah, the running on walls, yeah, the jet pack stuff was introduced in Advanced Warfare, the one before then. But,
Okay.
yeah.
But yeah, I started off playing uh Call of Duty Black Ops 3. Realized I was terrible at shooters. So all
You
I really
swapped it
wanted to
up.
do all I really wanted to do was stream Nintendo stuff, but it was kind of like almost impossible with no capture card, and especially back then because you used to have a DS capture card like a Katsu Kitty.
Mm, that was a struggle.
Um,
I just got my capture card for my Switch not too long ago, too.
I just got mine like literally 3 months ago.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think I've helped a lot of people get their capture card. I don't know if JMO followed my advice, but I think I've helped a lot of people get their capture card by being like, hey, you can just go to Walmart, pick up a flash drive capture card for like 20 bucks and just swap it
So
out.
I'm thinking about getting one of those as a travel capture card because right now I'm rocking the EVGA XR1 Lite
Oh, okay.
because I found that for like $40.
That's pretty good. I dropped a little bit of money into mine. I went and got the one of the Elgatos and installed it in the
Mm,
PC.
Yeah, I would be rocking an Elgato as well, like external Elgato, but it does. My Elgato does not like OBS, so and it's almost crashed my streams every single time I've tried to use it. Changed all my settings, done everything bad. So as a backup capture card, I bought a $20 one from Walmart, and I've only had to swap it out twice in 2 years, so it's kind of, I don't know, or a year, I guess, year and a half. So
Yeah, that's not a bad idea to go ahead and get a backup one. I might need to do that too in case anything ever happens to mine. But I haven't
I'm
had
ac-
any issues with it.
I'm actually super surprised about the quality of the Walmart one,
oh,
if we're
thanks.
being honest.
Dude, I can crank this bitch to like 4K if I wanted to, but I feel like it'd explode. So I don't want to get into all that, but I think I could just like it I stream at 240. So like I actually stream at 240 and that gives the and I have like the quality range on. So like
Mm.
basically like anything that comes in or whatever, like that's why I feel like some people can't view my streams sometimes is because it's trying to load at a higher quality than what they can handle it at. But usually you can just change your quality settings and it'll be fine. But it's just what I do, and I like recording at 240. It's a lot. It's a lot of data, but I mean it works. Like it's better than recording at 4K. I would have to have like probably 10 flash drives by now, or 10 SSD terabytes. So,
True.
but
4K footage so much.
yeah, for real. So Mongo, I know you have some notes. If you want to go ahead and start rocking.
Oh yeah, sure. Let's get together. Are you ready to be interviewed, JMO?
I am ready for the interview.
All right. So what makes you think you're a good fit here at this? Oh, I used to hate interviews. Oh, I'm
Oh,
so glad
dude.
they're with.
J-Mo isn't wearing a business suit, dude. Go back and change. I need to see khakis, bro, and a collared shirt, dog.
All right, let me change. My closet is right over there.
No, no, he's gonna interview for like Google and that they like the casual thing. No, but yeah, let's get started. I guess. So JMO,
Yes, sir.
as so you saying you've been streaming for what's the new one? You said what? 5 months, 6 months,
Like 4 months now.
4 months now. So what do you usually stream? Are you like a variety? Do you stick to like one thing?
So for the past like month and a half, I haven't really been streaming as much. I've been focused on my studies. I'm in college right now.
Mhm.
We just finished the quarter, so hopefully I'll be streaming more. But normally, or most recently, I've been streaming Pokemon Legends Arceus. I streamed like Elden Ring maybe once or twice. I kind of got away from the Super Auto Pets community because it seemed like, I don't know, they didn't really want to converse. They just wanted to play the game, which is fine. But that's not the kind of community that I wanted to be a part of.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, I know nothing about Super Auto Pets. What is that?
So basically, it is. Uh, sorry, my cat's like playing with my cords. It's a simulated battle game or battle simulator game. You set up five or up to five pets with different equipable foods or fruits that give different abilities. Each animal has a set ability that can either damage the opponents, buff your team, heal your team, increase your stats, increase their own stats, and basically you go in and you go against up to 10 different opponents and see if you can win. It's basically like a, I don't want to say battle royale because it's 1v1s, but you're going
Yeah.
against like at least 20 people.
So on my end, I don't know if I'm grasping this right. It sounds like a combination of League of Legends and Tamagotchi.
Okay, think about it like this. You know the battle style of Pokemon?
Yes.
Make it completely random where a thing does a random attack based on stat multipliers, and then you have all of your ducks in a row, basically. And like you're like so it's you versus another person. Your lineup is determined by you, but basically one will knock the other out and until you have nothing left.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like specifically, my favorite is summoner build, which
Hmm.
means if one of my animals dies, it'll create a new summon, and at the back of that party, you can have an animal that boosts every new teammate. So my setup is normally like, what do I have up front? It's it's like cricket, which spawns one more copy. Cricket sheep, and then you'll have your fly, which creates 2 copies, and then you'll have your turkey and then your parrot. So your turkey will boost every new summon, and then your parrot will copy the ability of that turkey. So therefore, you get 2 boosts for all of your new summons, and it's just like an endless summon field, pretty much.
Okay, so it's kind of like it sounds like to me your battle strategy for that is war of attrition almost.
Exactly.
It sounds like a card game.
It basically is a card game. Like the animals are just cards.
Yeah.
Mm.
Speaking
Okay.
of games, though, I got you, Mongo. I got the segues. Speaking of games, JMO, what are your favorite games? And if you list off anything besides anything that's popular, you will get canceled. But no, but for real, like, what are your favorite games? And what are, if any of your games or one favorite games are something that you don't stream, like, do you have any plans of streaming it in the future, or do you wish you could swap to what is your favorite games?
So some of my favorite games, if we had to go back to my childhood, I'd probably say the Legacy of Goku series on GBA.
That's
For
fire, fire.
Specifically like Legacy of Goku 2 and Boo's Fury, great games. Like Legacy of Goku 1, I could take it or leave it. Just replace it with Dragon Ball Z Kakarot at this point.
For sure.
Mhm.
But the Kingdom Hearts franchise has also always had like a special place in my heart.
I mean, I got a giant
So-
Keyblade behind me for a reason.
I got a
So.
Keyblade under my bed just in case the robbers come in.
I have something that will make the robbers not leave. We're not going to talk about that on stream.
All right. Sorry, TOS, but hey, me and JMO are from Georgia, so we kind of feel you, Mongo. But
I get it. Yeah.
I got a clown mug.
yeah, the clown mug will make them. They want to stay. What he's saying is they want to stay and chill out and hang out with him.
They want to stay for a nice cup of tea, just
Yeah,
chat,
for sure.
talk about life.
So
But,
Kingdom Hearts, GBA, Goku.
Let's see. I mean, obviously Pokemon.
Right.
Like Gen 4 specifically, like
Your Diamond and Pearl.
Platinum. Well, I like Diamond and Pearl cuz Diamond was like my first Pokemon experience, like all the way through truly. But Platinum is definitely better.
Yeah.
I would have preferred a remake of Platinum.
I think we all would have at this point.
Yeah, it's such a shame they've gone away from the trilogy almost. But
Yeah.
Wait, y'all want to buy a third game?
no. I mean, they can circumvent that now with DLC and such, which they really couldn't do beforehand, or at least not properly. So really, there's not a need for a third generation that changes stuff up and fixes like glitches and bugs that weren't caught in the initial release. But there was just something about the third of the series, because there's usually a third like big legendary that you don't really know until you like get through the game. Like with X and Y, there was Zygarde. With
It did nothing with Zygarde, which is terrible.
They didn't do anything with them till Sun and Moon.
Yeah, we're still waiting on Pokemon Z to come out.
You know, I honestly think that Pokemon Z was in development and they just canned it because of the backlash from X and Y.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. And they just moved on to Sun and Moon. That's why Zygarde, you can pick up Zygarde pieces and you get forms of Zygarde in Sun and Moon. I really do think that that was an idea for Z, and they just were like, yeah, fuck that.
Mm-hmm.
But
that third game was also in a time where you didn't get a new Pokemon game every year. You got one, every 2 or 3 years? Maybe 4?
I think it was 2. I think the DLC game usually, like, so it'd be like Gold and Silver released in 2000, Crystal released in 2001.
Right.
That type.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next year you get Ruby Sapphire. So
yeah, if we were gonna rank like third in the series Pokemon games, like really we'd have to end at Gen 4 and go as far back as Gen 1. I would say I would put like Platinum, Yellow, Crystal, and then Emerald.
Emerald's your last?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
wouldn't put an Emerald
I'm not putting
last.
Emerald last. What?
well, I mean, it doesn't mean it's a bad game. Don't get me wrong on that. But in terms of how new it felt, as opposed, as
I don't know
compared to
if
the
I can agree with
first
this.
one. Look. You can't argue that like yellow. If you play yellow, how different, even though it was the same story, just basically how different it felt playing through it.
I mean, I can understand because you get a Pikachu instead of getting a starter, and you can get all three starters.
Right. And there was actually Team Rocket. There was Jesse and James and
Yeah,
Meowth
you
in
get
there.
Justin James.
I mean,
Mhm. It-
I can't agree. Like, look. I do agree that Yellow is amazing, right? Like, I'm one of those people who's like, oh, I love Pokemon Yellow, right?
Mhm.
But if like, I think Emerald's top two. Like, if for me, I think like just because Ruby and Sapphire's story was so good, and then Emerald brought both of the stories together that were told in both of those games, and brought them and put them into one game, and then they were like, oh yeah, and we're changing the story. Guess what? Rayquaza came down, had to calm the two down, right?
right.
And then you can go back and catch them before the Elite Four. There's so much stuff that you can do, like that they added, and they also added more Johto Mons, which I think was very important. But like to me, Crystal is my number one. But the thing is that's because I love Gen 2. Like if I really had to say what's the best third game, it'd be Emerald for sure. Because like I play Gold and Silver rather than play Crystal. So like because they took Mareep out and there's no Ampharos, so I kind of have to, you know, play Gold
Yeah,
and
that was a weird.
Silver.
That was a weird decision. I don't know why they did that.
Very weird. But I will
All
say
right,
that Gen 3 is the best.
I'm gonna break some hearts.
He's like, oh, black and white too.
Absolutely not. I'm not a big fan of Gen 5 personally, but I digress. Gen 3, the story was not a banger like you say it was.
Whoa.
The evil teams in that were so idiotic. Like how you want to get rid of all land or all water? Like who are you? Like you're
Okay,
gonna die.
but to
It's
go with your point though, hold on. To go with your point, you do know that those games were written as an ecological statement for that region, for the Hoenn region, right? Like they were written because in like where the Hoenn region is based off of, like they were overdeveloping, and then there was people trying to say, oh, we should let the water come in, and like there should be more of this water for sea life, and then there was more people being like, well, more people are moving here, so we need to build more land. So the games
Okay.
were written as a statement of like, here's both sides.
Well, if they would have made it a more like industrialization based story instead of like literal physical land versus all of the water in the region, which is a region composed of 73% water. Like, I don't know.
well. You
Like,
also have to think. Okay, was anything really lost in translation when they translated the games?
true.
Yeah, I guess yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't
But
know,
That,
man. I do think Emerald, like, no matter if you don't like the story or not, I think just combining both the stories and like combining everything, like, because I think Emerald makes more sense than a playthrough of Ruby and Sapphire. Like,
oh, definitely.
I
yeah,
think Emerald like congeals the whole story better because it basically makes them seem like the enemy teams are idiots, but that like their evil leaders have something behind it. Like they're just rivaling each other. They hate each other, right? Like they hate each other, so they're like, fuck it, we're gonna go to this extreme. And like even in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, they go like their teammates are like on the team, like Team Aqua and Team Magma are both like, yo, y'all shouldn't be doing this. This is really fucked up. And then they still do it anyway, which I think was the intentional, like I think that was the first thing that they were trying to do, and they were trying to tell it, and maybe it got lost in translation. But they literally added a character on each team to like come in and be like, "Yo, this ain't cool, Chief.
True.
We need to
yeah.
slow this down."
I think Emerald would, for me personally, on my ranking, would have gotten more points and be higher if also it wasn't just as easy to get Rayquaza in Ruby and Sapphire as well.
I mean, there's a whole different puzzle for it.
Yeah, but still.
There's a whole different puzzle.
Yeah.
So I think that Emerald did have the best story in terms of third game.
Oh, that's hard to debate because Platinum.
Yeah.
Well,
True.
I think Platinum is the most complete game overall when it comes to third games.
Yeah.
And
Like,
that's. Sorry, go
oh,
ahead.
go ahead.
No, you.
Well, I was thinking because of how much they added in terms of not even uh not even just story, but they added the most full decks that anyone had ever had up to that point with 440 or 493 Pokemon.
Yeah.
They added the Wi-Fi Plaza.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
true. That's
I
true.
missed the Wi-Fi Plaza.
Yeah. And not only that, think about how high in regards Platinum is in terms of like extra content from the first two games and what they added. But to say it's the like a more complete game is heavy-handed in itself because it was not complete because they never released Arceus like they were
True.
planning.
They thought it
And
was
it's
too
still
complicated. They thought it was too
Yeah.
complicated for like kids to understand, which I get. But I mean, kids can understand. Oh, I beat Elite Four. I get Eon, or I get the whatever the flute.
Azure Flute.
Yeah, the Zero
Yeah.
flute.
Well-
I like it can have a little note that says "Go back to the tallest peak" is all it had to have on it, and I'm sure
just get
everybody
a-
would have done it.
Get a message on your Poketch from God saying, "Seek all Pokemon and come see me."
Yeah.
I
And let's take a step back from that, where they said they think it might be too complicated. Says the same company that unless you had a guide, you had to understand Braille and very weird things to get the Reggie trio in Gen 3.
That's facts, though. Oh,
It's very true.
I mean,
And then you had to get all three of those and move them to Gen 4 to get Regigiga, so you were fucked.
and then you had no idea, like, you couldn't even enter the Temple of Sinnoh without, or not that Temple of Sinnoh, the, what's it called? That little temple that's Regigigas'
Snowpoint
temple? Yeah, Snowpoint Temple. That's like, you couldn't even enter there, like, until you were the champion and you had all of the Reggies in your party.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, you couldn't even go in there regardless. And they didn't tell you, like, oh, you need all the Reggies. It just said,
Nope.
they were like, you don't have the clearance. And then after you beat the Elite Four, they're like, sorry, you can't come in here. It's like, okay. They're like, we don't care that you're the champion. It's like, I want to see what's under here. Like, give me the Braille text. The minute that, like, if they would have put the Braille text on the outside, I'm sure everyone who figured out the Reggie thing would have known.
I agree.
All you need is the Braille text.
I will admit, it did. When I first saw that, I did go start learning Braille a little bit just to figure out what the hell's going on.
It's not real Braille. They made up a language that was the ancient Sinnoh language, like the Sinjo people. They made up that language randomly. It looks like Braille, but it ain't. It's like, okay, thanks.
So
Like-
where does Sinjo come from versus Hisui?
Okay, so Heart Gold and Soul Silver establishes that all of Sinnoh's lore is basically from a point. There's like, so Johto and Sinnoh is north of Johto. So like in the Sinjo mountains, like in those mountains, like the mountain range that separates between them is Sinjo, and that's where all of the Sinnoh people migrated from. It explains that in the DLC that you have to have Arceus for. You have to have Arceus, which never released in Diamond and Pearl. You have to transfer him to Platinum, and you have... Well, he did release over the Global Trade Center. I will say that. We got one Arceus that we could have done this with. But the thing is that you take him into Heart Gold and Soul Silver, and you go to the Johto ruins, and some dude's like, oh my god, that's Arceus. Let's take him to the Unknown. Then the Unknown start flying around, and you end up in a Sinjo temple, and Cynthia's there for some reason.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, so, and then you get a cool cutscene of him making Giratina, Palkia, or Dialga. But the thing is like, that was established that it's Sinjo. The Sinjo people wrote all the Braille, because there's a whole bunch of Braille everywhere, and, like, you get, like, a kind of a little story. And in Hisui, you have Cynthia's ancestors, basically saying we are from like Sinjo, like we are Sinjo people, we are the original people. So it's it's always like, and that's why there's a whole bunch of lore with like people are speculating that the dragon leaders, like the dragon, like Lance and his cousin who does the dragon gym in Johto, I can't remember her name to save my life.
Claire?
Claire, yeah, they're speculating that the dragon clan or whatever is okay, thank you for following, Duck. Sorry. Anyway, they're suspecting that the Dragon Clan is Sinjo. Like it's like that the Sinjo were the original Dragon Clan. Then that's why like they worship Giratina, and when Giratina fell, they destroyed the statues, and like you know what I mean? Like it was like kind of just debate. It's debated amongst people right now if that's the real case, and it would make sense why the dragon people were basically in Johto because they migrated from Sinnoh after the fall of Giratina.
See, but I thought that Giratina was cast out before people existed in this universe.
That's what I thought too until people built a statue of Giratina and tore it down. And then Volo knows about Giratina. If he was
Sure.
cast, if he was cast out, how does Volo know about Giratina?
So Pokemon destroyed their own like movie lore.
True. I mean, the anime has never really been like canonical with the games.
Yeah.
Oh, true.
And plus, you got to remember that the games itself are multiversal already, and that's been proven. Like there's the mega universe and there's this non-mega universe.
And then there's the
We
anime.
need to go back to the Mega universe.
Mm.
Oh, that's a debated topic. I could talk about that for a while. But
Do you not want Megas back?
dude, I do and I don't. Like I'm on the fence about megas just because like it's I like getting regional forms better than I like getting megas. And I like getting new evolutions better than I like getting megas. I'd rather them instead of like let's say Dunsparce for instance who definitely needs a new evolution, right? Like I think that instead of giving Dunsparce a mega evolution where he turns into a fucking dragon or a Gigantamax form, we give him a regional form with a regional evolution. Right? Like, I think that that's the more logical way to go about it because you get more mileage out of it. And now we have two types of Dunsparce, just kind of the same with Zigzagoon. If they give Linoon a mega evolution instead of making Obstagoon, would we, and we wouldn't even know that Obstagoon was an option. You get what I'm saying?
It's like
Right.
GT versus Super.
True. Which I love how they're kind of trickling in GT canon into Super and kind of making it like you can debate that GT's canon now, which is
Kind of insane.
it is. We're talking about Dragon Ball manga.
I know, but I must have missed this. When did this become a thing?
The debaters that are debating that GT's still canon?
Yeah.
They have been around since the beginning of Super, but their argument has gotten stronger towards the end of Super.
Wait, how so?
Well, think about this, right? I can say this if Caitlin's watching. I can say this because it's not a spoiler, because she already knows, because I showed her the Ultra Instinct transformation or whatever. But if Goku is using UI in his base, he has no, like, if he ever learns to use UI in his base, he never needs to go back to using God Energy ever again. Which means that he can revert more to his primal instincts, which is him being a Saiyan. Right? Which would lead into the Super Saiyan 4 transformation, which means that everything in GT can come back. And if Android 17 is still alive, right? And is a good guy, like he's depicted in GT, which that's the first time that we got that he was a park ranger was in GT.
Yeah.
Like he was depicted as a nice guy all of a sudden, you know, since the last time we saw him. Now, all of a sudden, you get Super 17, and you get all of that. Jiro survives. If the Red Ribbon Army movie that's coming out now, does that mean Jiro's brain survived? Which means that, like, we could get, you know who, I can't say his name for spoilers, but might get you know who in this movie, which might prove that he still has a body, which means that he could be in hell, which means that GT, more canon for GT.
So apparently we're getting a new you-know-who instead of the same you-know-who.
Which, but still, it's like, it's still kind of, the bases are kind of there. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of there to kind of set up being like, well, they don't really have to use their god forms anymore. If
True.
if Vegeta learns destruction techniques and Goku learns like how to use UI in his base, he never needs to use God Ki. And honestly, the Super Saiyan God transformation is red. Let's not forget it is red. And
Right.
so what if and remember whenever he gets powered up to full power whenever he's a Super Saiyan 4 by 4 other Saiyans?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that reminds me of a certain ritual.
See, I
Yes.
thought it was just an incomplete version. Like that Super Saiyan 4 was just an incomplete version of Super Saiyan God.
Yeah.
Nah, but see, it's explained in the show that it's like this is the real Super Saiyan. Like this is the primal, right? Like this is what was originally he controlled the ape that he turned into and he turned into a Super Saiyan 4. It's even depicted in the God transformation itself. Whenever they're showing it, he goes from an ape to a Saiyan that's like furry in the Super Saiyan God transformation in that little imagery when it shows you that. So the debaters have gone crazy, but like, well, GT could still be canon. If anything, this could prove that GT is canon.
All right. Yeah. When you first said that, I thought you were talking about that little spin-off series of Dragon Ball Super where they're doing like some kind of multiverse thing with future Trunks and
Oh,
Mai, and they got
super, like the Dragon Ball Heroes.
Oh, that's from the
yeah, that's
card
it. Yeah.
game.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's actually canon too. It's canon to the multiverse of Dragon Ball. If you didn't know, they've like actually
So
confirmed that it's canon.
Okay.
GT is probably its own canon, just in a multiverse.
I've always
right?
considered it the movie timeline. I've always considered
That-
GT being the movie timeline.
That would make so much sense
Why
until you
Goku's
get to
so
the
much
Super
powerful?
movies.
Like, no, because the super movies are canon.
Well,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. They had like Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods. It wasn't a super movie, so
Yeah,
if
no,
you
no,
go
no, no,
back,
no. Super Broly is canon.
yeah. But I'm saying like GT wouldn't be able to be canon with all the Z movies if Battle of Gods is in the movie
No, I don't think.
list.
No, Battle Gods is canon. They retold it in the anime. So I think that like I think that I'm talking the Z movies. I'm talking from World's Strongest, right? Right is the first one.
Yeah,
Is it World's Strongest is the first one?
I think
Or is it
Pretty
the one with what's
it's
his
Dead
name?
Zone, right?
Yeah, it's Dead Zone. Okay,
Oh, yeah, that's-
if you're talking from Dead Zone all the way till Wrath of the is it Wrath of the no Fusion Reborn? No, it's Wrath of the Dragon. It has to be Wrath of the Dragon's the last one.
Battle of Gods is the last Z movie though. It's still
No,
considered Z.
but the thing is that movie's considered canon. The other movies aren't because
Oh,
Akira Toriyama wrote.
right.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is like the non-official movie timeline. I consider that being what happened leading up to GT, instead of
Yeah.
instead of our Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Super. I consider the movie timeline being GT's timeline. That'll explain why Goku's so powerful at the beginning of GT, even in his like kid form. It explains why he uses base form and he can barely hold SS3. Like, it makes so much sense to like just kind of throw it because it is the same writers that wrote the movies writing GT and not Akira Toriyama. So like it makes sense, but also Super is kind of retroactively proving that GT is canon. So I don't know anymore. Because the thing is before the discussion of canonicity even came into the question, GT was canon. Regardless. Like, regardless, GT was canon. So it's like, and they're taking aspects from GT and throwing it in Super. I really do think that, like, I mean, Goku's Blue Gi is probably going to show up eventually. It's already shown up in the manga. So, like, we're going to have Goku Blue Gi. Like, we're going to have. Honestly, I hate the Grand Tour saga of that, but, like.
Me too.
But if they could easily rewrite GT into Super and, like, literally take out all of the bad parts and just retroactively rewrite it. They really could, and then I could be like, oh, GT's part of the movie timeline, and then just completely cap that right there.
Yeah, just separate like how Marvel does with the MCU, the comics, and TV series, I guess.
And the Sonyverse.
Oh yes, thank you.
It's Morbin time, dude.
Oh, I did not watch that. I'm not going to.
It's not even in the movie, dude. It's not even in the movie. There's no way it's in the movie. I went and saw that, and I would have remembered that line. There's no way it's in that movie.
Oh, it's not.
Yeah, there's no way.
It's in the extended director's back cut.
Probably. I'm guessing Jared Leto leaked that himself. But yeah, so I guess we could move on from this topic. Unless y'all want to discuss more Dragon Ball, I'm always down to do that. I'll debate power scales all day.
Yeah. I know back toward the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I just finished watching Venom 2 on the plane, um, and saw the ending of that, where apparently there's going to be a third one with Toxin.
Which is gonna be nice, but the way that they're going, I wish Marvel would just cap Venom. Like, just hey, we're gonna take Venom.
Yeah. How do y'all feel about him not being related to Spider-Man in this universe?
Like Venom not bonding with Spider-Man first.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like as a
I think it
comic
was
reader,
I think it was a good way to not be able to use Spider-Man, like a good way to use their limitations.
I agree.
That's true.
But I hate the movies. I hate that Venom's a buddy cop movie. It takes a while in the comics for Venom to even turn good. So like the fact that it takes one movie for him to be like, "Oh, I want to be a superhero." It's like you could have made dude. Imagine okay, y'all have both seen Doctor Strange, right? Can I
I
say
have not.
The new one, or are you
yes,
talking about the
new one,
original?
the new one with Sam
I
Raimi.
haven't.
I've not seen Multiverse of Madness. No.
Okay, I'm not spoiling anything then. But Sam Raimi is a horror director. Let me just go ahead and throw that out there. If they got Sam Raimi to direct a Venom movie, I'm just saying like he did want to do the original story of Venom. He just didn't want to put it in Spider-Man 3. And I think that that's because he wanted to write a horror movie about it. And like cuz Venom is scary. Like
I
Venom
agree.
eats people's brains. They make fun of it in the damn movie, but like he actually does that. And Carnage, bro, whenever I was like, "Oh my god, they have the perfect casting for Carnage." Like they do.
Oh yeah.
That is the perfect casting for Cletus Cassidy. And I'm like, "But how are you going to do this in PG-13?" Like Carnage is an Avengers level threat. He's not just a Spider-Man like villain. He's an Avengers level threat. Like this dude,
Mhm.
literally it took the most unlikely combo to defeat him for the first time in the comics, which was Spider-Man and Venom teamed up when Venom was still evil to beat him, and
Mhm.
like, and they really didn't beat his ass, and like. Then there's all if you guys have been reading like newer comics like back in the 14s or whatever, like from the 14s till now, there was like Carnage USA where Carnage like multiple he came back from the dead, like a cult resurrected him, like resurrected Cletus Cassidy, and then Carnage spread to an entire town in like rural like the United States, and like everyone
That's
was getting
insane.
infected, and so the Avengers got called in, and then there's like he connects with Noel, basically the biggest bad guy the universe has ever seen. Carnage is the first person to connect with Noel, and Noel basically is like, "You are an other." Like like Noel tells Carnage, "You are not like you are different than a normal symbiote," and like Carnage goes batshit with power, and then you have Red Goblin, the Carnage suit on Goblin. Like it's like, dude, Carnage is a Avengers level threat, and he is a psychopathic murderer. Like there's no way to depict him in a PG-13 movie. Whenever it got announced, I was hoping they'd go the R route, but I mean, I don't even think you could depict it in rated R. Like it's got to be a straight the whole movie, like straight the DVD release for that type of shit. Cause like
No, Netflix,
it's crazy.
Netflix will take it.
Yeah, I mean, and I would have paid for a Netflix subscription, which I'm never gonna do ever again. But
Yeah,
like,
they lost a bunch of subscribers.
but like, dude, you show me Cletus Cassidy fucking pushing his mom down the stairs in a wheelchair, which is his backstory.
Hmm.
He pushes his grandma down the stairs to kill her. She's in a wheelchair, and then like stabs the dog outside because he's like basically since he was a kid he's been in and out of reality in his mind, and like fucking like has no remorse for killing. He just kills because he thinks it's a good thing to do. Like
Damn, he's like Dio.
don't don't don't
Yeah.
don't don't do that shit, JMO. Don't throw
Is that a
yourself under the
JoJo's
bus. Yeah,
reference?
don't throw yourself under the bus like that, bro.
Yeah. I wonder if they're gonna have they just like killed off Carnage completely from the NCU because they killed
Cletus Cassidy. They killed Carnage. Venom ate him.
I mean, Cletus can always resurrect himself. I think that he does
Yeah.
it in the comics all the time. Like he always gets resurrected from some bullshit, so
Yeah.
he can
That,
always come back.
that's the thing for excuse me. That's the thing for the MCU. They never bring back dead characters outside of WandaVision, but that don't really count.
I mean, they kind of never kill their characters.
Well,
I mean, dude.
Except for Endgame.
Yeah,
Really?
no. Infinity War killed like everybody, and then they brought them back. So they have brought them back.
mhm.
They were snapped away, and then they got snapped back into reality. And the only two people who died, basically got one of them got brought back.
Well, see.
Well,
with the
technically
snap-
both if you count the movie.
With the snap, they weren't dead because even Death was killed. If you like refer to the comics,
True, but
I don't know how.
like
Death is an entity in the comic books, Mongo. Death is an entity that Thanos is in love with.
Yeah, no, yeah, I know that, and she's in love with Deadpool.
Yes.
yeah.
I forgot what my point was.
They do kill their characters and bring them back. Black Widow got a movie after dying. Gamora's back from a different time. Like,
Well, Black Widow was a prequel.
yeah, but still,
Yeah,
they made a movie with Scarlett Johansson and Black Widow literally 2 years after Endgame.
They had to.
No, they didn't.
they did not know.
No, they didn't.
Wasn't she the only event? Oh, besides Hawkeye, but
And Hulk.
the only.
I don't count. I don't
Hulk had
count.
an intro movie.
No, listen. He didn't have a Mark Ruffalo movie. All right.
They did not know.
He didn't have a Mark Ruffalo movie, but
That's what we wanted.
he had an MCU appearance.
We wanted a Mark Ruffalo movie.
And they still need to do something with the leader. They left off that big
Exactly.
pothole in the hole.
And Abomination still kicking around. He didn't die.
Hmm.
Abomination was shown in Shang-Chi, right? He was shown fighting Wong. Wong was fighting Abomination in the background. Same design. So Abomination's still kicking, right? Like, we could have another Hulk movie. Motherfuckers don't want to do it, though.
Did you see that Black Panther 2 was canceled?
No, I did not.
Hold on. I honestly think unless they were going to have Killmonger be, like, the new Black Panther, I don't think it would have worked.
No.
They were gonna have the leader of the other clan. I forget what his name was.
Yeah, I can't remember his name either. I'm not...
Oh yeah,
I-
start with a B, I think. I know you're talking about the big swole dude.
Yeah, he was
Google.
supposed to be the next Black Panther.
Someone hit up Google.
Google
Let me
boy.
see.
Okay.
I'm just saying, Mongo is my co-host. We shouldn't have our, like, we shouldn't have our guests over here Googling.
M'Baku.
Yeah.
M'Baku, that's it. Yeah.
But I don't
So
think it would have worked without Killmonger being Black Panther, and I'm just being real.
Well, Killmonger he's canonically dead, I guess. You could say.
They can always bring him back
Mhm. I wonder
easily.
if, yeah. And if they do bring back Black Panther, and if they ever introduce the X-Men, I wonder if they're gonna do a Storm Black Panther marriage like they did in the comics.
I think it would be after Chadwick Boseman's death. I don't think they would even like go there
Yeah.
because he literally he plays the perfect T'Challa, and I think that like if we go from having a T'Challa, the comic book, like literally comic book T'Challa, to having another Black Panther, I think it would be really weird to like actually set up what's in the comics, like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like
Yeah.
if they were gonna do that, they would have already done that. They've had the rights to the X-Men since before Infinity War, so I honestly feel like they could have done it if they wanted to, like brought the X-Men in through a portal. But
I mean, the Fantastic Four are part of the MCU now, right?
yeah, they are. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but they are.
I know who plays my number one pick for Mr. Fantastic got the role, and I'm happy about it. But I heard he didn't do
He did
the
great.
best job.
I think he did
No.
great. I think he did great from someone who actually went and saw the damn movie and has read the Marvel comics. I think he did great.
Well, it kind of depends on who you're hearing. He didn't do great from. Like, are you hearing that from critics or the audience?
Or are you
Critics.
hearing that from people who are like, so he can't play him ever because he was in this one role that I love.
Yeah.
Well, see, I was reading like spoiler-free critic reviews, I guess.
Then that's the worst kind. Go see the damn movie. I'll pay for your ticket. Go see
It's not
go
in
see-
theaters anymore.
Yes, it is, bro. What do you mean? It's definitely in
Maybe
theaters.
there.
It's definitely in theaters. Shit, bro. You can run that up. Bro, I will rent it off of YouTube and send you it. We'll watch it in Discord. Fuck it. I'll watch it with both of y'all.
Wait, hold on. I've been spaced out. Which movie we talking about again?
Multiverse of
Multiverse
Madness.
of Madness.
Yeah, I looked in. It might not be your movie theater. Mine's still showing it.
Yeah, that's just a big box office hit. Look it up, J-Mo. There's got to be a movie theater in your area that like is still showing this movie. It just came out. What do you mean? What is Top Gun Maverick taking its spot? Because it
I
made
think
more.
Bob's Burgers, the movie, took its slot.
Bob's Burgers is taking Doctor Strange. Yeah, okay, sure.
This is the first time I've heard of the Bob Burgers movie.
That was
It's
the
literally the show, but longer.
Oh, I hate that.
Don't spoil it because I'm gonna go see it with Caitlin here soon. But
I'm not gonna spoil it, but it's literally just the show, but longer.
Oh, wait. The Simpsons did it.
they did do it.
Yeah.
So I guess Family Guy also technically did it.
I don't think Family Guy's ever been a movie though.
But
I mean,
they
it's had like
Not a box office release movie.
yeah, not a box office, but they did do. I guess they did do the Star Wars trilogy, or they did like
Yeah.
or not the trilogy. They did all of them, including the prequels, right? Or did they just do the trilogy?
well, the first Family Guy quote unquote movie was like Stewie's meets his older self.
Oh,
and he's
yeah.
back forward in time.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Oh
was
yeah,
so long
forgot
ago.
about that.
Jesus.
Okay,
that's
how
like
about this?
first-
South Park did it first, dude.
Yeah.
They did the first
Dude,
musical.
South Park is top tier.
Oh, yeah,
Facts.
definitely.
Facts.
And the reason it's top tier is because how Comedy Central lets Matt Stone and Trey Parker have such creative freedom with
They
it.
get to do whatever they want,
Mhm.
and it's
Even
great.
their newer stuff has been good.
Oh, it's
Oh,
been
yeah,
great.
I've been meaning to watch the newest one. Apparently, there's like some kind of body modification to Cartman or something.
I have not seen the newest episode yet, but I will say this: season 23 was a letdown, but everything after was fire. It might have been 22. Whatever the member berries was like
yeah.
was the worst
You remember?
storyline. Yeah, it was the worst storyline I've ever heard, but it's set up for Randy Marsh being at Integrity Farms, and that is
Integrity.
the best thing they've ever done.
Yeah, how are y'all liking the actual episodic stuff that South Park's doing? I think it's pretty cool, but
I
it is
do.
very different.
I like it, but I like how they're also like now they're going back to just every episode being something different. But
Yeah.
but they have a ground in the fact that Integrity Farms, which is why I say that it's the best thing that's happened to the show, is because Randy actually has an overarching story that's going day to day, but the kids are doing something different every day, which
Mhm.
I think is great. Like it's the best of both worlds. Everybody gets
Plus-
Randy, and we get more weird episodes.
Yeah, plus we get more tally.
True.
Yeah, but yeah. Does Stan still drink and has Asperger's? Is that still canon?
It's still canon he has Asperger's, but like I don't think they don't ever bring it up.
Yeah. Except in the little COVID special thing
Right.
where he grew up to be an alcoholic who does online wine and other things reviews.
God, J-Mo's looking so lost right now. Have you not seen these episodes?
I've seen them. I'm looking at you guys' video.
Okay,
My camera is just up higher than
Oh yeah.
where I'm looking.
I get you.
Well, mine's flipped. I should be looking.
That way? I don't know.
Yeah, you guys are literally looking the other way. Did you see?
The
Okay,
other way.
speaking, but let's go back to games real quick because this
Oh, yeah.
reminds me. This reminds me. I saw this Twitter thread earlier today about Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I saw this Twitter thread, and
Oh.
it was about, oh my god, these are the first games that the box cover legendaries aren't facing each other. And I was like, I was like, really? And I went and looked into it. Motherfucking gold and silver, they're not facing each other. They look like they're flying towards each other, but they're not facing each other. And red and blue, like Blastoise is facing Charizard, but Charizard isn't facing it. So I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? But I mean, I kind of get it, but like at the same time, just move the box around.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just switch the boxes.
Facts. Like, yo, I get we don't say Violet Scarlet, right? We say Scarlet and Violet, but like,
Even though that's the order that, that's their ranking order.
yeah, but
Violet
like,
and Scarlet.
but it's just so weird, dude. Like, I don't. It's a debatable thing, but I think it's a debatable thing for no fucking reason.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why? Like gold and silver, literally. Like, oh, they flying to each other, but they're not looking at each other. Like, who thought about this and thought that this was okay? And he was taking it seriously too. No cap. Like, this was an all serious thread about like blah blah blah. And the dude's like, I know you could just switch the box covers around, but it's just like speculation. It's like, okay, and your point? What is the point? I read the whole damn thread. There's like 600-700 fucking comments. I'm sitting there scrolling through it. Most of them are flip the box around forehead, and then the other ones are like actually trying to speculate on it. I'm like, but no points are being made. It's like that's like me saying like, oh dude, one's from the future.
Yeah, I was gonna
Proven.
say if they're in contrast to each other, that makes sense because one's going in the past, one's going in the future. It's different ways.
And then we're gonna have a third game, the present, looking straight at you. Like I don't think Pokemon Game Freak is that subtle with their box cover details on making the legendaries face different directions. What I think they're subtle with is having the borders, like the borders, one being like tribal and one being futuristic. I think that
Oh yeah.
that is what they're doing. But I don't
Mhm.
think I think the story's gonna be the exact fucking same because why can you play with your friends in an open world environment if the story isn't the exact fucking same? There might be you know, one is set in the future, one set in the past, right? But the story's the same, and it's the same legendary. Just one's a future version, one's the past version. That'd be cool as fuck. But like,
How are they gonna do, like trading in Pokemon boxes in the past?
how did they do it in Hisui?
Well, but how are they gonna do it with a different? Well, like Pokemon Legends Arceus isn't split into two games. How are they gonna do it? Like program it into the game. They're not gonna make a completely.
Did you see
separate
the
game.
trade go into the heavens when they showed the trade animation? It went into the heavens, dude.
That's what I'm saying. Who's doing that? What
The
technology do they have in the past?
the freaking legendaries are connected and they're literally quantum particles and they're funneling time, dude. That's what they're doing. That's why everybody's saying, dude, it's a past and present, and they're the first three typed legendaries, and they're gonna be the first three typed Pokemon. Dude, I have been in this fucking Reddit and Twitter like shit, dude, and it is not fun.
Yeah.
Like these guys have the worst takes. These are the same crowd of people that are like, gold and silver suck, and it's like, okay, they're like gold and silver suck. Black 2 and White 2 are the best games ever invented, like ever, and fucking BDSP is trash, but Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, what we tell y'all, we told y'all when it released, but X and Y is garbage. Like these are the people who are doing that, who can't make up their mind about shit. Sitting here talking about Pokemon theories, it's almost as good as the Pokemon Go Twitter. I do recommend everyone watching or listening to this podcast right now to follow the Pokemon Go Twitter if you have a Twitter and to read the comments on every post that the Pokemon Go Twitter like posts. It is great.
Mhm.
It's followed by a whole bunch of people who have never played anything but Pokemon Go in their entire lives. And if you're a Pokemon fan, that shit is funny. That shit is the funniest shit. I don't know if you ever went and read it, Mongo, but that shit is funny.
I read a couple of them. It was just a bunch of people complaining about what we don't have already.
Yeah, it's like it's so good. It's so juicy.
I got a question for you guys as Pokemon fans.
Yeah.
How did you feel about the Detective Pikachu movie?
You want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
Who do you think is gonna have the longer take, Mongo, me or you?
I mean, my take is just that I enjoyed it in the terms of I love seeing the realistic stuff. The plot was pretty good.
I would have liked to see more action from the Pikachu, but they kind of told you why we didn't get more action from the Pikachu.
I'm glad it's its own self-contained movie and we're not getting a sequel. That doesn't mean that I didn't enjoy it though.
Yeah. Well, I thought it wasn't self-contained because it was supposed to be like 20 years after the first Pokemon movie because it was actually contained. It was actually related to the that movie verse, whatever it's called.
I don't know, man. All I know is that like Detective Pikachu, it was good for what it was. I don't like if we're talking movies, I don't like the remake of the first movie. My God,
Really?
my God, did
Uh,
they ruin it?
Wait, hold on. This is new information to me. What do you mean they remade the first movie?
They remade the first movie.
It's on Netflix.
They remade the first movie. I thought they
Oh,
were
wow.
stupid when they were making that Ho-Oh movie, but it turned out okay. But like that
I
new
can't believe you talked.
yes, I can't either. But fucking they remade the first movie and it is though I'm sorry to everybody, but it is the most trash can ass shit. Compare like when you stand them side by side, the first movie still holds up, but when you stand them side by side, my God, whoever remade this movie and they took the soul out of it, and the animation style is awful.
It looks like they took models from Source Filmmaker and just set it up.
Thank you, Mongo. Thank you. It's so
This is an
bad,
abomination.
and they took out key plot elements.
It did take out a lot of stuff. I was like, wow, it feels like it's moving a lot faster than it did when I was a kid.
The Minnesota Vikings joke is gone.
The what?
The Minnesota Vikings joke was gone. So in every single dub, that joke is different. But in the American English dub, it was like it was like I think it was like something. Hold on, I gotta actually look this up. Hold on, I am literally I don't want to mess it up.
This is the first
Oh.
time I'm hearing of the Minnesota Vikings joke.
I forgot I can't press P. God damn it.
Oh,
God damn it. All right.
I'll look it up for you.
I already did it. I already swapped it up.
Oh. What does P do? Just change screens?
Yeah, I have it binded.
You should make that like Alt P or something.
Okay, it's Pokemon Minnesota Vikings reference, and it's basically here. I'm gonna play the audio for it. Well,
It's not gonna be TOS, is
yeah,
it?
no, it shouldn't. But
Or
but-
copyright, I should say.
I mean, okay, Minnesota Vikings reference in Pokemon. I'll just go to the Reddit, whatever.
All right.
Actually, it doesn't give me. Just give me what it says.
I
What?
found it.
Oh, you did?
It says, I didn't know Vikings still existed. And then the next line is, they mostly live in Minnesota, says Ash.
Yeah, they were on the boat traveling there, and I think Brock says it. He's like, I didn't know
Yeah, Brock
Viking.
says
He's
it
like, I didn't know Vikings still existed because they're on like a Viking-looking ship. And in our English dub, it says not. Ash goes, no, they live in Minnesota, which, like, first off, is
It's just like-
amazing.
It's just like the jelly donuts.
That is true.
Yeah.
But I will say that is amazing that it's different in every single dub. It is a different joke in every single dub.
Yeah, because it's weird. Why would Ash know where Minnesota is?
But that means that Minnesota is canonical in this universe, dude.
Well, Africa is canonical, and South America is too in the games.
That is true.
Mm.
I mean, dude. Oh, there's
You
so
guys
much.
give me 30 seconds. I just had a food delivery.
You really getting food in the middle of our podcast, bro? You're our
I
guest.
ordered-
This is
ordered
the
2 hours
perfect
ago.
segue for me to go into our sponsor. You have until I get done, JMO. All right. For everybody at home listening and everybody watching, today's podcast is sponsored, as always, by Retro Tech Repair. Retro Tech Repair is based in Metro Atlanta, Georgia, with years of video games / computer experience. They strive to have the best prices for the quality of work, and they always keep the resale value of each console in mind when giving quotes, from making your old video games work like new to HDMI port replacements and everything in between. Contact them today and follow them on social media. I'm dropping a link for our Twitch chat, and they're gonna be at the link at the top of the description in the YouTube video. And for any audio listeners and anybody watching, honestly, if you want to, they do deliveries all around the United States. And if you mention that you came from the podcast or that Willie sent you, you can get 15% off of any order. And that is any order, like the total. That's not just like, one thing you're getting 15% off of. That's the total. So again, it's Retro Tech Repair. Thank you for sponsoring us. JMO is back with his food. He ran.
I am back. I did run. I ran straight down my hall.
Oh,
I need to eat something too. I have.
God, why don't y'all eat before stream? What is this?
Well, I've been having stomach problems today, so I didn't think it'd be a good idea.
Do I need to come make you chicken and
forgot
rice?
about
Chicken and rice,
chicken and
Mongo?
rice.
I don't have any rice with me right now.
You don't have
I need to go to the
rice?
store. Like, I haven't had a chance to go to the store since I came back from my trip.
Speaking of trips, this is a perfect segue. How was your New York trip? For anybody who doesn't know, Mongo went to New York.
Yeah,
Ooh, I love New York.
it was not for pleasure. It was strictly business. I pretty much hated every minute of it.
Oh no.
But if you're a Pokemon Go fan, I would highly recommend it. The streets are paved with stops and gyms. The raids flow through you like fine wine. I don't recommend a steak from there because those crazy Yankees don't know nothing about cooking good steak.
We know this.
Like,
Their
I took a
pizza's
picture.
bomb.
The pizza is bomb. I will say that is the one very enjoyable part of New York. It was very good. I'm more of a stuffed crust man myself and not very particular to the gooiness of cheese, but they were very good. Everything
is
looked delicious.
Very counterintuitive of you, Mongo. Like
How do you mean?
you're not gooiness of cheese, but you like stuffed crust.
There's a difference between
No,
having-
you stuttered, bro. Don't even start.
I stutter because I'm stupid. There's a difference.
Oh.
But no, it's different than, like, you wouldn't want, like, it's your preference of if you would rather have a Twinkie or a really glazed toaster strudel. I don't know if that makes any sense because I don't like either of those
I
things.
know what you mean.
I mean, maybe I would compare it to like maybe a fried Twinkie versus a Twinkie.
Yeah, well, maybe. I'm talking about the gooiness of it because the Twinkie, the cream is inside, the toaster strudel, the cream's outside. So, stuffed crust, cheese, gooiness to just regular cheese gooiness.
This is gonna be completely off topic for a second, but do you guys put butter on your Pop Tarts and put them in the microwave? Because if you do, we cannot talk to each other anymore.
Butter on my Pop Tarts?
It's a very southern thing to do.
I've lived in the South for 20 years and I've never heard of that.
Mongo, you know what I'm talking about?
I know it's a Family Guy reference. I know that, but no, I don't do that. I barely eat Pop Tarts as it is.
True.
Okay, cool. We're good. All right, continue with your New York trip, dude.
Oh yeah, we could probably make this its own podcast, really, but
Give me the highlights.
The highlights. Okay, plane seats are very small. And also apparently they need lots of maintenance whenever I'm about to get on them. But yeah, it's hard to really talk about the trip because I can talk about the things I hated about it and were very inconvenienced to me. But in terms of my trip itself, it was just me going to this 8-hour, 9-hour long conference to take notes from my boss on sustainability and New York laws.
You know what's gonna be great is if we ever blow up as streamers and we go to TwitchCon and we gotta sign papers for our fans all day. You're gonna be taking notes again, bro. But it's gonna be you're gonna be back in school writing your name on the board, bro.
I know.
Sitting down at a panel doing this but live.
Oh, bro, I'd love to. Give me the copyright shit live, bro. I'm down. I don't even know I don't even know what the name of our podcast is anymore, bro. But
Yeah.
due to copyright. If you give me due to copyright live, this shit would be lit.
Oh, you know what? Let's do a play on. We'll talk about this later, but play on words. We'll call it "dude" to copyright.
All right, no, we're not doing that.
No,
I'm sorry.
okay, I know. Okay, sorry.
I don't want to pun in my title. What is this, bro? I'm just playing, Mago. We can talk about it later, but I do like due to copyright. Oh, but that leads me into the other thing. So this is actually huge for Atlanta. I don't know if you heard this today, JMO. I actually want to get your raw reaction because I know you probably know about the YSL case and why I'm changing the slime community to the SC and probably like basing it more on community than slimes is because of the YSL charges. And I'm like, I just don't want to be affiliated right now. I'm kind of
Yeah, no, I get
I'm still
that.
gonna listen to Thug's music, but I'm backing myself off, right? Dude, have y'all heard what has happened today for like the city of Atlanta?
No.
Okay, so a whole bunch of people went and took like a deal to basically incriminate themselves against Young Thug. Like they're incriminating themselves so Young Thug can get out because they literally said if we don't do not if we turn against him he'll kill us. So this breaks their RICO case and now they have to prove a charge about Young Thug. Because it breaks the RICO
Well,
charges because they're not all in collusion anymore.
Is this an episode of The Sopranos? What's going on?
Exactly. Second off, the rapper Trouble, the OG Atlanta rapper, he died today.
Oh,
Yeah,
damn.
unfortunate. Rest in peace of
Rest
Trouble.
in peace.
He is a great Atlanta rapper. If y'all haven't not heard of Trouble, y'all might not the new generation might not like his music, but for anybody who's a fan of hip hop and like is musically inclined like that, Trouble's amazing. He's an OG. Also,
I
oh, my bad. What's up, Manga?
I was gonna say I've never heard of him till today, but I will say that's a bomb ass name.
Yeah, for real. And then on top of that, Metro Boomin's mom was shot by her husband, and then the
What?
husband committed CS.
Ah.
He did the thing I can't say on any kind of platform afterwards.
You can go the Deadpool. He unalived himself.
Correct. So that's what has happened in the day of Atlanta. There was also I don't want to report news on this podcast. We are not a news podcast, but there was also some other gun violence related issues today around the world or around the United States, excuse me, because this isn't happening around the world. This is just happening in the United States. But that is what has happened today. Today has been a very bad day. It's been crazy. But this is like yeah, I just wanted to get your reaction to that. To be honest,
Is his mom okay?
his mom is
Like,
dead.
did see, I didn't know if she passed or if it
Yes.
was just like an injury or
No, it was a full on thing. So everybody pray for Metro Boomin, if not the greatest producer in hip hop history. Like, yeah, it's tragic. Like, I didn't want to bring down the mood of the podcast, but I thought I should let you know. And for people at home who don't know, you know what I mean. It's kind of like
prayers
this is
for Metro.
yeah, this is what we deal with in Atlanta, and I know that like I don't know, J-Mo, I don't know if you listen to hip hop or whatever, but like just being from the South, this is kind of like our culture, and it's a really like kind of weird thing. Mongo, I'm sorry that you have no idea what we're talking about, but
Yeah. I mean, look, Atlanta South is different from Mississippi South.
That's very true. That's very true.
So, it's like there's Austin, Texas South, and then there's rest of Texas South.
Yeah, I don't want to get into this on stream.
Yeah, we'll save that for off
Camera.
Yeah.
discussions.
Video Plus just joined our podcast and said, "Oh, a podcast. What is this about?" In the middle of me talking about that. So we are Jesus, dude. I kind of want to switch back to a happier topic though. So that's a weird ass segue for me to be like, "Hey, me and JMO are both from Georgia." But yeah, JMO, both of us being from Georgia, very weird coincidence that we have now aligned ourselves. You know what I mean? We have joined forces.
Speaking of forces,
Black Air Forces. Are we talking about everything that's related to Atlanta today?
I was gonna talk about Sonic.
Yeah.
But-
Okay, we could do that. We could talk about Sonic Forces. I was like, yo, we bringing up Black Air Forces?
Let's talk about Frontiers.
Okay,
and
that we
how-
can talk about.
How they're reusing the Sonic Forces model instead of recreating a new one.
I don't care. Sonic's my favorite
you f-
franchise, but I don't care.
How do you feel about the gameplay that they showed in the trailers? Well, not trailers, but the gameplay footage that IGN showed.
I think that the battle mechanic is cool. I think that like if we do get puzzles, I honestly don't think they fit in a Sonic game. But like, hear me out, Mongo. I see you making faces. For the people, audio listeners, he's making faces. But
I always
the
make faces.
but I don't think that puzzles in the traditional sense fit into a Sonic game. I think that whenever you're talking about Sonic, the things that you think of are the puzzles that you think of are high route, middle route, low route. That's what you think of when you
True.
think of puzzles and how to get through a level. You don't think of traditional Zelda dungeon puzzles, rock climbing puzzles, get to the top of a spire, Assassin's Creed puzzles. You don't think of that type of puzzle whenever you think of a Sonic game. Like it's high, middle, low. Or just a like and the better you get at high, middle, low, the better you get at the game. And like I think that when we're looking at this game with the rails being in the sky and everything like that, I honestly like I think that they're getting way too much hate for it being so barren because I feel like the last thing that you add in the game is animals and shit. I feel like that'd be like one of the
Yeah.
last things you add. Not, I'm saying like textures is definitely the last thing you add. Like textures 100% is the last thing you add. But like these are also video slices that they have done. Like these are segments of the game that they have done. That's what they show, unless you're Bungie and you make an entirely new game to show at E3. JMO is probably not old enough for that reference. I don't know, but Bungie made Halo 2 for their like, and they were like, "There's no smoke and mirrors," but if they played it in any other way, it'd break. And then they completely remade it from scratch in under a year, and that's where the video game crunch happened. And
That's crazy.
And that's why studios crunch now, and that's why it's called a crunch, is because Bungie basically coined the term. But I will say this, that these are segments. I don't remember the exact term. I think they're vertical slices, I think is what it's called.
That's what they're called.
Is so like these are vertical slices. So these are parts of the game that are fleshed out and done. The last thing that they add is textures and any kind of like foliage or anything like that. The fact that these rails are in the sky without like they could easily be like, oh, like robotic like gravity lifts right on this island or making these rails in the sky, but they're not doing that. They're not doing that. These are just random rails in the sky, and it's like I feel like if you're gonna show off this game, Sega does have a history of showing off games way too early, but at the same time, this game is coming out this year, and this was the same type of controversies that we've had. Basically, the only game in recent memory that I could think of that didn't have a controversy like this was Sonic Mania, but like, and it's the best reviewed Sonic game of all time. But like, you look at Sonic Frontiers and how barren the wasteland is. The mechanics are cool. I like how he could just start running on walls from building up momentum. That is Sonic to me, right?
His battle mechanics don't feel Sonic.
That is true. If they add the homing attack in there naturally, though, I think that this could be like really good fluid. They could be like what the 3D Boost games are doing with that whole fluid movement and tricks and like all of that combined into an attack system if they add the homing attack.
I don't think that they should have gone open world yet.
I don't think so
Like-
either.
Last game was Sonic Forces, am I right?
Yeah, I honestly think that
As-
this should have been 3D levels.
That's exactly what They should have tried to go back to the roots, like Adventure,
Yeah, but they'll never do it
Instead
again.
of- which is dumb because they're never going to recapture an audience if they keep making mediocre games.
I mean, look, we don't know until the final product's here, right? And
Oh, came from Forces and Colors Ultimate, which was a soulless re-release.
yeah, it wasn't even a remake; it was a re-release. Let's be honest, the menu didn't work when that game came out. You couldn't get into a game when that game came out. You could not get into. You could not play it. It's so weird, dude. But I will say that the only thing that I like, and they're even monetizing the Sonic Origins collection. Weird. Have y'all seen this? Have y'all seen the
I haven't.
monetization for the Sonic Origins collection at all?
I haven't seen the monetization stuff.
So
no.
it is all digital. Y'all can look this up while I speak. It's all digital. We're not getting a physical. At least they haven't announced
What?
one yet, which is fucking wild. But you have to pre-order it in order to get menu animations. On top of that, the deluxe edition comes with the anniversary music. It comes with like all of this cool shit, and they're taking away lives and they're adding coins instead of lives.
That's what they did in what is it? Colors Ultimate.
Right, but instead of this, you start with 100 coins if you pre-order. And
Interesting.
so
So you
there,
don't lose all your points on death.
no. The coins are different than rings. Coins are your
Oh,
lives. Rings are your rings.
rings.
You're gonna still be able to play it like normal. And now, granted, they are including the base versions of each of these games. They are including those. We are getting Sonic 1, 2, 3, and Knuckles. We're finally getting a widescreen 3 and Knuckles, the Christian Whitehead port. We're finally getting it. But on the anniversary mode, you're getting coins instead of lives. So, like, but you earn achievements and you do missions in order to earn coins.
Interesting.
It's
I
very,
mean, it
and
adds more replayability.
there's gonna be like a whole new soundtrack apparently, an anniversary soundtrack in the anniversary mode. Like, it's gonna be crazy, but you have to pre-order it. You have to. It's monetized so poorly, and if you don't buy if you don't pre-order the digital deluxe, you are not getting the full game.
You miss out on camera controls.
Yes, you miss out on camera controls in the menus. You miss out on animations in the menus. You miss
out on missions.
You miss out on missions, exclusive missions. Uh you miss out on the anniversary music, and you also like any extra goodies that they have are probably going to be locked behind a pre-order or digital deluxe. But I will say this on top of it, it is a fucking weird ass monetization system that I don't understand myself. And if you don't pre-order, oh, you best believe it's going to be up the next day for $10 to buy menu animations. They're locking up these games that they released in the 90s. And oh my god.
Like, without menu animations and without the anniversary content, I might as well, like, sorry to say this, but I have these games on my Wii. I can literally play them at any point in time. What's the point in
You don't
buying
have the
this?
widescreen version of them.
Who needs widescreen at that point? Like, if
It's true. I have my Genesis. I could plug it up and play these games. But at the same time, like, we've never had the Christian Whitehead port of Sonic 3 and Knuckles, so this is kind of a momentous occasion, and they finally got the rights cleared from Michael Jackson's, like, estate. So, like, this is a momentous occasion, which is why we should be excited as Sonic fans. I shouldn't have to go pre-order this game for a full $60. I don't give a fuck if it's anniversary mode or not. It's the same game, if not worse, because it's not live based. They could have just had save files for all three
Sonic
games.
Mania wasn't even $60.
Like, bro, you could have added the save file function from Sonic 3 and Knuckles. You could have added that to all three of the games. Let us play as Knuckles and Sonic 1 for the first time like they are doing. But you could have just done that, and guess what? Banger. And just add the anniversary music. And some, like, extra, like little museum content. That's the unlockables, is like a little museum that you can run through as Classic Sonic. Boom. There you go. Game idea, Sega. Take it from me. Instead of releasing this shit. Like, I was excited for this when I heard of it. I was like, yo, I'm gonna pre-order this bitch for $30. Yeah, no, I'm paying a full $60 for the digital deluxe. Like, it's so bad. And being a Sonic fan right now is like the worst case. Worst case scenario.
I feel like, as a Call of Duty fan, I experienced the same amount of frustration with their own type of pre-order monetization stuff as well each year.
Yeah, at least you get a game that's playable, though.
Well, I mean, if you take the last game that came out, Vanguard, for long stretches of that, you don't, not really.
You've had Warzone.
I hate Warzone. It is not part of the Call of Duty franchise, in my opinion.
You've had Warzone. It's Call of Duty Warzone, dude. You've had Warzone. They actually have revolutionized the Battle Royale, though, I will say that. They took a Battle Royale formula, made it Call of Duty without it stinking like Black Ops 4's, and they made it into something good. The Modern Warfare engine's really good. Like, Cold War's engine's Modern Warfare engine, great. So
I just have such a problem with, well, BRs in general, obviously, but the monetization route that they're going. Like, I guess it's okay to do like the BRs. They're free to play, and obviously you need to get your money some way from it.
Right.
But to have everything behind a like bundled paywall is, and especially in like the COD mobile sense where it's all like lottery based essentially to get the new good stuff. I don't really agree with that, especially with when you win a BR, you're not getting anything to go towards getting that for either a discount or free. Like there's no currency you can save up from winning that will
Have
help
you
you
have you
purchase
actually? When's the last time you played?
Warzone?
No, I'm just saying Call of Duty in general, because you do know
Oh
that there's a
shoot.
free tier of the battle pass that gives you credits, right? And the more you rank up,
Oh
the more
yeah, yeah, yeah,
you can buy it for free.
yeah, yeah. I know that. Yeah, I know that. But I'm talking about the, but that's only once per season, and that's only like a couple hundred.
True, but there is enough
And
credits in the battle pass to buy the battle pass.
true, but that's just the battle pass, and most of the really good stuff that people like come out in the store for usually around $20 to $30 worth of COD points.
But
That's how it feels for Valorant.
Modern Warfare, to its defense, Modern Warfare, you can unlock the guns, and Call of Duty in general. Now you can unlock the
Yeah.
guns via doing challenges. You do not have to buy it from the store.
Yeah, but I'm not arguing about the fact that you can unlock the new weapons, and it's not this old supply drop system like in BO3 Advanced Warfare. And I think Infinity War did it too.
Yeah,
Oh, and World War II. But what I'm saying is the cosmetic scene itself. I understand why it's monetized. I feel like you should pay for the work that went in to create that new design, the new features. My issue with it is inflated because it is always bundled with like stickers and like maybe some charms, calling cards, maybe an execution or whatever, depending on what game you're playing, that are not really worth the added price that they're adding to the skin of the gun.
Mongo, we're just boomers, dude. My take is that we already did pay for it by paying $60 to $70 now.
Right.
We already paid for this bitch.
Mhm.
Anything they want to add extra, bro, like release it in the season passes. You remember those old shits? That
Oh,
old
yeah.
way of monetizing some shit? Oh, we
Mhm.
wanted to update our game and come out with some new shit. Well, guess what? You could buy the season pass or you could buy the DLC shit. People were hating on that bitch. But now I would
Yeah.
People
love
were
to go
hating on
back.
the loot crate system back then.
No, wait, loot crate systems are still ass. Don't even get me started.
Yeah.
Gambling sucks. Gambling sucks.
I mean, but that's how what was it? Black Ops 3 was, right? They
Yeah,
had
it's
the
awful.
supply drops, which is loot crate.
And they had a season pass. Y'all remember that shit? They tried to milk that shit. They had a season pass and they had loot crates.
In Black Ops 3?
In Black Ops 3. Do you not remember? So I actually have all of them. But, like, Black Ops 3 had all of the zombies maps bundled in with all of the new maps for the season pass. And they had the
Yeah.
whole... This is the most well-received DLC Call of Duty's ever dropped, though, was the zombies DLC. It's the most well-received DLC they've ever dropped. Ever. Was the zombie DLC. But, like, and they want to do Zombie Chronicles 2. Like, people want that. We want the transit shit. But... like, Zombie Chronicles was still there, and now they bundle the game with Zombie Chronicles. There's bundles of Black Ops 3 with Zombie Chronicles, but there was season passes and loot crates at that time. Like, what I would
Yeah.
give to go back to just a season pass with, like, 6 DLCs, right? That was, mind you, that was another $60, but and you were paying in advance for the season pass, but you were also saving $15 for paying in advance, and it was funding their projects.
Here's what I would like for these types of BRs. And JMO, I don't know how your experience with BRs is. I think you said something about Apex and stuff, but
Valorant.
My only
Valorant,
battle
sorry.
royale experience. Well, when you say BR, you mean battle royales, right?
correct.
See, Valorant isn't really a battle royale in my opinion. It feels more like a CS:GO,
Mhm.
Overwatch mixture.
Right.
I agree.
And those types of games have their own issue with monetization. I know CS:GO has had its stints with
the gambling, the skin sites, the
Yeah.
you get how you have to pay to get certain skins and such. But I'm not going to touch that because I don't know too much about it. If you have a good stance, we can talk about it later. But the BR system right now, and I think several big streamers have talked about this in much better detail and explanation than I can do it. We need some kind of reward that's not just experience and progress toward a season battle pass thing for winning a game of BR that goes to the actual monetization stuff. Because before Call of Duty, because again, the Call of Duty is the only thing I can really relate to in this sense, because that's the only thing I played. I think the best like system we've ever had for like new weapons, monetization, all that stuff was back in World War II. Now back then they still had the supply crates, where you would probably, to get more of them you'd have to pay money. You obviously got some after every couple matches. It's a little random, but they also had the thing called the salvage system, where everything you got that was duplicate, you got this salvage thing. They did it in Infinity War 2. And then there was an area you could trade in that salvage to get the new guns, the new like variants of the guns, the skins, all that. And that was a great system. Now, obviously, it wasn't perfect, but in my opinion, that was the best monetized system Call of Duty has had. Now, if they were to do something like that with this new, battle pass thing they've got going on, and the shop, whatever they do at the shop, I would like to see that, because I think right now, I mean, obviously they're not going to change it because it just rakes in billions of dollars. I think Activision's $1 billion industry right now.
And Activision is now under Microsoft, right?
Yeah.
I don't.
They got the acquisition. It's approved. They're I think they're fully going through with the purchase next year, but they got everything got approved.
All right, because I thought some lawsuits were still
Nope.
or some pending investigation was still holding that up to be like super official.
I mean, probably, but the purchase goes through next year. It's like legal everything. It's going through next year.
Okay.
But can I cut in and interject before JMO gives his take, because I don't know how JMO has a take on this, but do you know how many fucking duplicate grips I got in that system, bro? You want to know how many duplicate handgun grips I got in that bitch, and you can't even see them? There wasn't an inspect system, but I got so many duplicate fucking grips in that game that fucking earning loot crates was not fucking worth it. Ever. It was way better to just buy the loot crate and hope to God I get the weapon I want, because Lord forbid I want to unlock it in a different way than fucking opening loot crates for hours and spending too much damn money on it, because a loot crate was $5, if anybody remembers that shit. So, and you could get all fucking duplicate grips because there is no dupe system that prevented it from being a duplicate. So you want to talk about the best system ever? Bro, I like that I know what I'm going to get to purchase. If this is the best of the two evils, bro, give me this shit all day. Because if I don't have to sit there and look at duplicate grips out of a $5 fucking, I get your return on investment, your little credit refund shit would give not even a quarter of the way to the next loot box. This is what he's not telling you, JMO. It wouldn't even get you a quarter of a way to the next loot box, especially if they were grips. So, and that was mainly all they had. They flooded that bitch with grips. You remember the emotes? All of the emotes with different names that were the same damn emote? So, but that's the system we want to go back to? Man, fuck that. I'd like to look in the store and be like, I guess, this weed one is cool. I don't smoke, but I'll fucking buy it. And it comes with a cool little smoking emote. Hell yeah. Like, I would love, me being a Halo fan, you gotta understand, like, I play professional Halo and also professional fighting games, right? I loved Halo's unlockable system. Achievements and the credit system that they had in Halo Reach, I think, were the fucking best, like, ways to do anything. Nothing monetized. You had achievement-based unlocks for armor, and you had credit-based unlocks for armor, and that was probably the pinnacle of where we were. All for free. A $60 game. All for free. And this is the thing. And they focused on the maps on the DLC. Whenever you bought the DLC, it was the maps. It wasn't the armor. It was the maps. The armor was built based into the game, right? So
Right.
Mhm.
I like coming as a Halo fan and then going into Halo Infinite after this whole battle royale, like loot box destruction trend that we just went into, and Halo Infinite coming out with a store and no achievement unlocks for the campaign, not even releasing with a campaign, no co-op,
Yeah,
like,
crazy.
and they could just get away with it because it's Halo. And that's where Call of Duty is. You got to understand that Call of Duty had a lot of backlash whenever Infinite Warfare bombed. And they had a lot of backlash because a lot of people just went over to MW remake, and that one they monetized the shit out of too. But they noticed like, oh shit, people aren't buying anything anymore. So what they do, they finally listened to the fans, and they were like, well, we want to know what we're buying if you're gonna, because the fans got to the point where they were so complacent that they stopped asking for no more random loot box and unlockables to the better of the two, like the better of the evil, which would be knowing what we're gonna buy. People, there was a shift in the dynamic of we had this for 5 games in a row. Can we just know what we're gonna get instead of, oh, can we just unlock it? Like, can we do challenges to unlock it? I get that they still have Damascus camo, platinum camo grinds, like, you know, camo grinds and all that stuff, but can we just do challenges to unlock cosmetics? But all of a sudden, they literally were like, oh, Fortnite's doing well. And that completely changed everything because people were tired of paying for loot box systems because Overwatch broke the meta. Were tired, and World of Warcraft and like every other loot based genre like CS:GO, like though they were breaking groundbreaking in money making, groundbreaking. Like people, real gambling addicts were sitting there selling their accounts on Fortnite when that bitch first came out. On top of that, real gambling addicts, because they had a store that actually rotated, real gambling addicts were sitting there like gambling on CS:GO. And that's the same shit that was happening with Call of Duty whenever they first started doing that shit. And World War II is one of the worst monetization systems that they introduced. They may have it like people were begging by that point for them to have a no dupe clause. They're begging.
I don't want to cut you off,
Mm.
but speaking on the like CS:GO gambling addicts selling like black market shit, have you heard about the Roblox thing that's going on?
Explain, because there's a lot of Roblox things going on.
Okay, so they also have an underground black market skin and
Oh yeah,
item
yeah.
trading ring
I've heard about
where
this.
some of the items are literally valued at over 6 million USD.
Damn.
For a duck crown, right, or whatever that crown is like 6 million.
And they're putting these items in the hands of literal children who don't know the value of real life money.
Also, it's that same item that he's talking about sold for $1.5 million USD in Robux, BT Dubs,
That's insane.
and now it's worth 6. And the dude I think has 2 of them. Who has it? I will say that Roblox is fucking stupid, but now imagine that at a GameStop where parents don't give a fuck if they're buying Call of Duty.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're putting gambling. That's literally like gambling streams on Twitch. Like, you're putting gambling into the hands of people who cannot control themselves.
Right.
Literally.
But I think I might have made my point a little. I think I got very vague. I wasn't saying that I would want the random supply drop back. I was saying that the salvage part where you were able to pick and choose with in-game currency instead of using the real money. Like the money, like you just outright buy it. Okay, that is fast, that's quick. I have the money. I want this. Let me just go ahead and get it. But for your free to play, your children who are playing this game, which really they shouldn't be because it's within Call of Duty rated M.
Yeah.
Yeah, they shouldn't be playing. But anyway, I like the system where I could be, okay, I want this version of the STG or whatever it was, and I have the credits saved up from my random gambling that was terrible. And then also, I want to make a point. They got rid of the pistol grips like after the first quarter of that game.
I'm just saying.
Also, yeah, it was bad, yes. And they also put in the weekly challenges and the daily challenges where you can get free crates from doing like these little like 10 headshots, blah 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 blah. But yes, there was a bunch of stupid in there, just like BO3. BO3 was the worst by far, I think. it was just terrible.
You gotta understand. Oh, my bad, J-Mac, go ahead.
I was just gonna say my opinion on this whole BR thing is that if the game is free, I don't mind you putting paid loot in the game. But if I paid $60, $70 for the game, don't make me pay for skins. Don't make me pay
I can't agree
$20
more.
for a skin.
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier though. That's my main issue, and again, I'm just talking from a COD's perspective. The way the battle pass system, fine, great, let's do that. But also, if you're going to include a shop, which is where you're going to get most of your money from, don't do these really highly overpriced bundles where you're justifying the increase in price because there's like several things looped together when 80% of the stuff people aren't buying it for. They're just buying it for really the weapons that are in there, and maybe on occasion, some YouTubers, I'll say, want it for either the costume or the execution that's bundled with it. We don't want these calling cards. We don't want these little stickers on the gun, the little charms on the gun. That's going to increase the price by possibly 100 to 200%.
I just feel like that those things shouldn't even really be in a paid game.
I agree.
Like, if you're gonna do that, just do it as DLC.
I agree completely.
In Battle Pass, I'm already paying for the service to even be able to play your game online in the first place, depending on if I'm on PlayStation or if I'm on Xbox. Like, I'm already paying the live subscription. Like, don't make me pay $20 a month for a Battle Pass too.
Just to have fun, like just to feel rewarding, to unlock some shit, like you're doing some shit. Because like the thing is at least Call of Duty has the camos. Whenever you go into Halo, it's literally like you have to buy the battle pass to play this bitch, because there's really no reason to do the challenges at all. Like they give you a weekly reward, and it's usually just been emblems now. Like I think that the main thing has been that I think all of these companies are trying to do a free to play model without being free. Halo Infinite went free to play, and it should never have, because it's fucking a staple. It's a staple first-person shooter. And I think that staple first-person shooters don't need to go free to play. They need to stick with what makes them the staple first-person shooter. That doesn't mean they can't experiment. Like, Warzone could have been its separate entity, right? Which it has turned into. But I'm saying that, like, the staple shooters need to be, like, staple games need to stay staple, right? We don't need all of this monetization shit for shit that, like, only the whales are going to make them so much money. And the thing is that, like, I've been, like, you know, when I was at the height of my Modern Warfare playing it and enjoying it, I was buying shit, like, almost every day. And, yeah, that was fucking sucky of me, because am I ever going to get to redeem that shit? Am I going to get to use it in Modern Warfare 2? Hell no, I'm not. They're going to make me pay for that shit all over again. But the thing is like, you know, whenever you sit there and you just really kind of just take a look at where we're headed, Call of Duty's going down the fucking toilet because of this shit. People are starting to backlash. Like, we're starting to get that whole thing that we got whenever the loot boxes were getting too overbearing. Of like, well, if it ain't free for me to play, I'm not paying for shit. Right? Yeah. And that's why Vanguard is the worst selling Call of Duty in history. Why do you think Vanguard's the worst selling Call of Duty in history? It had the worst opening week. Not because of reviewers, because reviewers always fucking love the Call of Duty games. They hop on its junk or whatever, and they're like, hey, this is the best Call of Duty game ever. So innovating. Even though it's the same Call of Duty game over again, but it's just the same formula.
Just like the sports games that come out every year.
Exactly. They do the same thing. But what I'm saying is this, is that, like, it wasn't reviewers that didn't pick up Vanguard. It's the fact that we knew the game was going to be trash. We knew the game, even though it's in a World War II setting where everybody loves Call of Duty, it's placed right there firmly where we love it, right? We knew the game was going to be trash. We knew it. We knew it was going to have problems because it always releases with problems. We learned our lesson from all of the past Call of Duties. And we learned our lesson from Modern Warfare. I may praise Modern Warfare now, but when that bitch came out, if you weren't running a 7.25, you were not winning the game. And this is the thing of, like, you consolidate that into now it's been, 3 games, and it's usually a 3-game cycle when you look at it. It was Advanced Warfare, then it was Black Ops 3, then it was Infinite Warfare, and Infinite Warfare tanked, and then they went back to World War II, boots on the ground, but still had the loot boxes. So people were mad about the loot boxes. They had to change. Your point, Mongo, about them changing mid-season, like like in the middle of the life cycle, that should never happen. The game should have released good. They shouldn't have had to patch it afterwards, like the Star Wars Battlefront controversy. They should not have had to make the game playable halfway through its life, right? Then they go with Modern Warfare. They remake the engine. They're like, here, we're going to give y'all what you want. We're going to let you have everything that y'all wanted. We're going to remake a fan favorite game. We're going to retell it. And guess what? You can see what you're purchasing. And we're going to add a battle pass. Everybody ate that shit up. But the game was broken.
Oh, yeah.
Right? The game was fucking broken. It took them halfway through the cycle, if not more, to fucking fix it. Then they dropped Warzone before the game was completely fixed. We had cheaters running rampant on Warzone. The Warzone engine tanked the frame rate of the normal Modern Warfare engine and doubled, if not tripled, the size of that bitch.
Oh, yeah, the downloads. Oh, Lord.
Then you have Cold War come out. All right? You have Cold War come out. Zombies fans like me were like, yes, we're getting zombies. Finally. What is Treyarch going to do on this new engine? Oh, they went back to the BO4 engine. Oh, my God. And because of time constraints, they went back to the BO4 engine because Sledgehammer got kicked. So they went back to the BO4 engine. And all of a sudden, or it was Ravensoft, one of them got kicked. But all of a sudden, whenever you go back to the Cold War engine without the boost formula that they had, and on top of that, Zombies was good. I like Cold War Zombies. I'm not hating on Cold War Zombies. But the thing is that they tried to integrate that engine into the Warzone engine as well. And it completely tanked it, quadded the size. All of these games, you have to have Warzone down. Like, it is on the Warzone client. These games that I'm talking about. And the game was broken.
Yeah, if I hope COD is smart, because Warzone 2 is coming out eventually sometime. And they really need to make it completely disconnected. Like, obviously, maybe you can import stuff from the main series, but you shouldn't intertwine the code for Warzone and whatever the current Call of Duty is.
I agree. If I'm buying
Because-
Modern Warfare on the disc, I should not have to download Warzone now, which is what you have to do.
Yeah, I don't know if you paid. I don't know how closely you followed Vanguard and its life cycle so far, but there was a point not too long ago where there was an update to Warzone and it affected. You couldn't even get on Modern Warfare. Cold War loading times and everything were terrible, and Vanguard was experiencing bugs and glitches galore.
Well, they've been experiencing bugs and glitches since it first came out. This is what I'm
I know,
saying
but-
is Vanguard was the I was telling you the steps leading up to where we are right now with the Call of Duty, this being the worst game in Call of Duty franchise history for purchase sales. Like, people would rather go play Modern Warfare, the remake 2019, than go play Vanguard. And it's fucking wild. Like, when in Call of Duty history are you like sitting there, the new Call of Duty games out where you could be grinding and shit like that, and you're like, man, I missed that broken piece of shit that was 2 years ago, instead of this broken piece of shit that's right now. Like, YouTubers are their gameplay in their background is starting to be BO1 on the PC, BO2 on the PC. If y'all haven't noticed, it's fucking wild that this is where we are right now. And like, bro, I will admit BO2 is my favorite Black Ops, or it's my favorite Call of Duty. But like, the fact that this shit is like, do you know how old BO2 is? Like, it's fucking crazy that we're in the year 2022 and Call of Duty, one of the biggest Huh?
11 years old now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and the thing is we're in 2022 and Call of Duty, the biggest franchise, can get away with releasing a piece of shit game that is completely monetized out their asshole, and they can just, and it affects every other game because it's made so much fucking money. That's why Sega can get away with it.
I don't want to say anything, but you know who also gets away with it?
Who?
Nintendo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Not to this
Like-
egregious level of like battle pass in the game, but
Dude, Sword and Shield literally made you buy another game and a half to get a full game.
that's true.
But and let's in Sword and Shield's defense, there are still tons of people playing Sword and Shield despite that.
True.
And also going back to Call of Duty, the issues just don't stop at the game itself. I mean, hell, Activision's had like just all that mess with the allegations, the employees, some of them unaliving themselves because of what's happening inside of it, the misconducts, all of that.
I will say that JMO is right with Nintendo being able to get away with that, but they've always been able to get away with that. Remember the Nintendo? Well, you're probably too young, JMO. Mongo might remember this a little bit, but he even might be too young. But the official Nintendo seal of quality. Does anybody remember that?
Yeah.
So the official Nintendo seal of quality for people who are not educated on this subject was a standard that whenever the NES came out, Nintendo was like, well, guess what? Every single game is going to be regulated by us. And our rules for having your game on our platform is you cannot make this game widely available for other platforms. So, because it was not started with malintention. It was started because of what had happened to Atari. And Nintendo wanted to have a select group of developers. If they're making a game for our console, you are not overdeveloping. You can only make a certain amount of games in a certain amount of time. And that's where the official seal quality happened. But where it started to get crazy is when Sega came in, and now all of these Nintendo competitors were like, well, we want to make our game available on the Genesis, and Nintendo was like, well, fuck that, you're not able to do this on the NES anymore, or the Super Nintendo. You won't get our stamp. You will not be able to get it. And so
if you look at, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no. Like it's just basically Nintendo has always had this thing where they can get away with doing weird and stupid practice shit is what I was getting to. So the fact that it does not surprise me that when Red and Blue came out, and it or technically Gold and Silver, but when Pokemon came out and it became the biggest thing in the world, that they were like, well, we could fucking sell 2 copies of this bitch, right? Like, because the thing is that Red and Blue, it was meant to be like, the reason that there was version exclusives is you were meant to go and trade with a partner. You were not meant to like own both games and 2 Game Boys. But now,
Right.
like, they saw the success of how much they're selling, and now it's like, oh, well, they're holding fan favorites back as exclusives. They're holding, like, all the weight back as exclusives. And they're mandatory 2 games. You do know that Arceus is one of the best fucking selling games for Pokemon ever, and it's 1 fucking game with every damn Pokemon in it. Like, that needs to be in it. That's in the Sinnoh region. Every Pokemon. And it's like, cool. This is one of the best selling games ever. And then the next games in the franchise are Scarlet and Violet. They're doing back to it because they can get away with that shit because it's Pokemon. But what I was saying is you don't see them releasing a Zelda Battle Pass for Breath of the Wild 2. Guess what? Breath of the Wild 2 announcement, Battle Pass, dude. You get skins and unlocks, and we're going to do seasons of Breath of the Wild 2. Like, bro, that shit is so egregious after you've already paid so much money, especially for the mass majority of people playing on PlayStation who are paying $70 for these pieces of shit now.
Yeah.
Like,
Terrible.
it's so bad. And then Sony's like, oh, well, if it's coming to Sony for an exclusive, they're doing the Nintendo route. If it's coming to Sony for an exclusive, guess what? It can only be here. And we can say if it goes to PC, or we can say if it goes to Xbox, if you want to release it on our platform. And if you want to release it on our platform, you're not releasing it for $60. Bitch, we're releasing it for 70. We're getting the cuck back, and you get your little percent of the profit. That's what they're doing. And it's fucking crazy that they're pulling a Nintendo. But think about paying $70 for Vanguard on launch, having to wait to install that bitch with the Warzone update that came with it, because those things are inseparable, and then fucking downloading a Battle Pass. Bro, that's why Nintendo is loved right now. That's why Nintendo is bigger than ever, because you could just fucking pop in Mario Kart and play it, and if you want to, you can buy their online subscription service and fucking get the DLC packs. If you want to, and it's free. The DLC packs are free for an online subscription service. Who would have fucking thought? J-Mo, it's exactly what you said. If I'm paying for the subscription service, bitch, give me the Battle Pass for free. And that's what they did. Nintendo literally said, hey, guess what? Here's all of your favorite Mario Kart tracks that you voted on for Mario Kart all these past years. Guess what? We're remaking them. And guess what? They're not even done. This is just the first wave. They had said there was
They
going to
have
be
8
multiple.
waves.
Yeah, they said there was eight waves, bro. And it's
Waves of
crazy.
tracks.
It's crazy.
Yeah. That's why I'm kind of I wouldn't say optimistic, but interested in Microsoft acquiring Activision because I know Xbox does this. What's it called? State of Play or something?
No, that's
Where they or-
PlayStation.
Oh no, that's what's the thing? Xbox Game Pass or something? Where they have
Yeah.
a bunch of like free games and stuff on there if you
Oh,
buy
yeah,
the
Game Pass.
subscription.
Game Pass is actually really good.
Game
not
Pass
gonna
is
lie.
fire, bro. Game
Yeah.
Pass is fire.
So that's why I'm like, I hope with the new like leadership over the company, they might move to something like that, and it'd be really great for not just like Activision and all their games, but for like if they're leading the COD franchise, which is like a front runner right now, I'd say tentatively, because I hope that's how it directs the direction of the overall game market.
We have 2 years of still paid exclusivity with marketing for PlayStation. So no matter if Microsoft has already said they're honoring that with every
Right.
single studio that they purchase, they're honoring the Sony deals that they have. So basically that's why we're getting Elder Scrolls on the PS5 whenever Elder Scrolls releases. And Starfield. Whenever Starfield releases from Bethesda, we're getting that on the PlayStation 2. Whenever you so then you jump forward, you're going to see all the marketing for Modern Warfare 2 that we've seen so far has been on PlayStation. There's a reason for that. It's because even though Microsoft is in the middle of buying these bitches, Activision has to report to Microsoft now. That's how that works. Is like Microsoft is basically writing up the papers, they're finalizing the documents, it'll be final next year. So everybody's already reporting to Phil Spencer. That's already been announced. Like all the studios already have to report to Phil Spencer. But they're still honoring the whole, hey, Call of Duty's on marketing PlayStation. PlayStation gets exclusivity first, right? Like
Right.
that's how that goes. So that's why we're probably gonna get a Modern Warfare 2 alpha for free, in a paid beta. Which by the way, I hate the marketing for betas and alphas right now because they're not actual fucking betas. They're literally the game finished, but like, hey, let's see if we can fucking get some simps to pay for this shit. So like we can test out, I'm doing air quotes. We can test out like how good our servers are. Even though we've been using the same servers for fucking years.
Yep.
So, I mean, I'm just saying, like, the state of our market, it doesn't matter if Microsoft acquires them. Oh, yeah, we might get it for free on Game Pass, which you're still paying for, by the way. Like, Game Pass Ultimate's a great deal. $20 for live, PC, and console. Fucking, like, you can stream. If you have Ultimate and you don't have an Xbox console, but you have a PC and you have Game Pass Ultimate, you can stream to a console somewhere in Xbox's warehouses and play them damn console exclusives if you want to. Which is
You can download them.
Yeah, which is crazy to me.
Because Microsoft, Windows is their baby. They can do what they want.
Which is crazy. But I would love whenever Call of Duty is definitely going to be on release on Game Pass whenever this whole Activision deal is through. Maybe once the PlayStation exclusivity is through, then it'll be on Game Pass, so we might have to wait for 3 years. But the thing is that, like, that's 3 more COD games, guys. That's insane. Like, they need to cut back.
It's still not even going to be the new COD game that comes out on Game Pass.
I mean, it might. They do. Game Pass likes doing the day one. Like, you get to pre-download it if you have Game Pass day one, whatever, which is what I love. And that's what Sony's trying to copy right now. But Sony's doing it ass backwards. And it sucks. It sucks that I'm having PS1 games, like, be, like, why can't y'all figure out? We're in 2022 and you guys still can't figure out your PS3 architecture. We still have to stream it.
I'm like, damn, you can't fucking figure out how to emulate your own console that you made?
I mean, it's crazy that, like, even, like, crazy hacker emulator people cannot rip a PS3 because it's fucking so complicated. But then even the people who made it can't do it. It's like, that shit is fucking wild to me.
I'm like, damn, I really just want to play Infamous 2.
Not stream it and not have to stream it with their laggy ass streaming system that Microsoft figured out 50 years ago. like, bro, it's crazy to me. Like, oh shit, this is how the internet works. Google Stadia failed. We probably shouldn't be doing this. Like, guys, like, I
I
get y'all
forgot
want to
about
make.
Stadia.
I get that you want to
Yeah.
make money, but jeez. Wait,
It's
Nee,
wild.
you have a PS3 emulator? Go ahead and link that to me and let me see how good it runs.
I have a PS3 emulator, but Infamous isn't optimized.
Oh, okay. So they're still trying to figure out how to optimize games for emulators. I get it.
Like there's only I think it's 15 games that are optimized for PlayStation 3 emulation on PC right now. Sonic Unleashed is one of them,
Well, of course.
surprisingly.
No, I'm saying of course because that's a meme right now in the Sonic community. Unleashed is apparently the best game to ever be created if you ask any Sonic fan right now, and it's so fucking stupid.
Because everyone hated that game like 2 years ago.
Exactly. Like, oh my god, bro. They were complaining about the Werehog levels. And then they took the Werehog levels out in Generations. It gave us an actual cool classic Sonic that wasn't Force's classic Sonic. It was just the first classic Sonic. And that was a cool gimmick. And that was Generations, if you want to talk about boost games, I think is the best boost game. If we're back to Sonic.
I think the best boost game, in my opinion, is Sonic Rush.
I don't consider Rush a boost game.
What do you consider it then?
An advanced game with boost.
Okay, I'll take that.
Because it has the trick system from advanced. And it's
I'll take
decided.
that.
Yeah.
Speaking of classic Sonic games and stuff, how do y'all feel as from our conversation, I guess hardcore Sonic fans, about the Sonic the Hedgehog 90s cartoon coming back and finishing?
I'm excited.
Is Jaleel White voicing Sonic?
I don't know if that's been
know.
confirmed yet. I don't know if it's been
If
confirmed.
it's not Jaleel, I don't want it.
That's kind. Dude, I have like all of the Sad AM discs, by the way.
Sonic Underground should have been finished. That was my Sonic Underground was my shit growing up.
He said RPCS3. Okay, I'll
That's what
check
I
that
use.
out. Okay, yeah, JMO, you can send me a link. But yeah,
Yeah, I got you.
like I think that just to, like as Sonic fans, this sucks. But I will say that PlayStation sucks is what we're learning from this.
Mm.
And that even though Nintendo was the worst company about, 5 years ago? Nintendo was the worst company alive. People were like, oh, fucking, y'all are hoarding your IPs. And, like, you're hoarding your IPs. You're making us buy a completely different platform. And yada, yada, yada. And making us pay for 2 games for Pokemon. And now, all of a sudden, look at what happens when they hoard their IPs. Bitch, they got the best fucking collection of IPs imaginable because it's not oversaturated. Like,
Oh yeah.
even though Pokemon releases every fucking year, that it's not oversaturated. It's still the marketing giant. It's the biggest thing on the planet. It's literally the biggest marketing thing on the planet is Pokemon, and it's crazy. But
And one of the things I give them, like you think of any other software or like a game company, like I hate going back to COD because it's one of the few games I actually play. Whenever they release like this upcoming one, it's Modern Warfare 2, whatever they're going to call it, but it's like a remaster of the original Modern Warfare 2, but just changed a lot. Whenever they come out with these like remastered games to just fill up a year that they're not really ready for, they get so much shit. But here we are as Pokemon fans, we're begging. Like how long were we begging for a remaster of Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum?
since Heart Gold,
Since-
Soul Silver,
Literally,
since the same generation that they were made in, we were like, please
Yeah.
remake this game again.
And I just feel like you don't see that in any other video game, or even like I'll just take all media,
I mean,
any other media. Like you don't see a lot of people saying, "Oh, I want this book remastered." You don't see someone wanting the Great Gatsby remastered, even though it was technically in the
but
movie.
you see sequels to that, by the way. You see people begging for sequels, like
Oh, yeah.
the
Well,
Harry Potter franchise.
because when it comes to other forms of media, when it comes to reboots, we've seen how terribly that goes.
Right.
I will say this about other forms of media. It's because I can sit down and read a book and still have the image in my mind that I was going to have. If I sit down and replay Heart Gold and Soul Silver, dude, I want Johto to get remade again because Heart Gold and Soul Silver on the Diamond and Pearl fucking engine that runs like dog shit. and no, but it's true.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's true. It's like if you put this on any other engine, it would run great. It still runs bad on emulators. It's
That's true.
crazy. It's crazy. But like I get what you're saying though. It's like, but like I don't need a book remastered. I can go watch a vintage. I can go watch Happy Gilmore right now, and I'm not gonna be like, oh, I want Happy Gilmore remastered because it's a video.
Right.
There is no like close to like 3D modeling in those movies. It's basically like I will say that like as we got into the CGI era, some of those movies do need to get remade with the newer CGI. But like
Mhm.
as long as there's no like artificial shit like how it is in video games, it probably doesn't need to get remade, right? The story
Yeah.
has already been told in one form or another. If anything, movies are usually remakes of books. So like
Yeah.
we already have that remake. But I will say that like with Call of Duty and stuff, like with what you're talking about, like that's what I'm saying is like people were hating on Nintendo 5 years ago and now all of a sudden they're the most beloved company and they just haven't changed anything since the very beginning.
Mhm.
They're still hoarding their IPs. They're still like, you know, not doing it, but it worked out for them because if they wouldn't have hoarded their IPs, imagine if they would have been like, yeah, Microsoft, you can use our IP. Or yeah, Sony, you could use our IP. Oh, really? The $50 Mario content pack for Warzone? Like, no, but I'm being serious. It like
Yeah.
the Pokemon charms that are $20 each. You get what I'm
Ooh, that
saying though?
that would
Like,
make bank.
yeah, it would make bank, but that's the thing. Is like it would sour the image and make it go stale because it's basically now they have free reigns to put that charm in every single game. And until that copyright runs out.
That was another reason I think Fortnite really dropped is because they started putting too much IP in there.
I can agree with that. But J-Mo, what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say Nintendo is very out of touch with their fan base. Like they made it known that they don't know really what their fans want,
True.
specifically Nintendo Japan, but they still have a better grasp on pleasing their fans than any of these other major gaming companies do.
Xbox is trying, but I think that Xbox trying is all a front to like get more people over to Xbox. I really do. Because if Phil Spencer, if they really were trying, they could be like, hey, Bethesda, release fucking anything right now. Go back and fix Fallout 76 while we're waiting. Right? Like there's a lot of shit that they could do unless Starfield was so broken and Xbox was like, nah, you can't release that. But the thing is look at how Halo Infinite released. Their baby. Microsoft's baby just got released in the state that it got released in. And they even brought back the creator of Halo himself, Joe Staten. They brought him back, and he had to fix the game in the short amount of time that they gave him. They still gave that man a deadline. And that's the
And
crazy shit.
look at what these standalone devs can do. Like look at FromSoft.
Right.
They just released the biggest game in the world is literally breaking records and is gonna last for the rest of time.
And they're from Sweden, dude. It's crazy, bro. Like, it's literally crazy that, like, they're from a country that can't spend a shit ton of money on a video game and still put out the best-selling video game of this year, and if not this decade. It's fucking wild. Like, dude, like, I will say this, like, no matter what, like, that has to be a W in somebody's eyes. Right? Like, these game developers have to see that bitch, and you know what we're probably gonna get in, like, future games that are coming out from these developers? Dude, I wouldn't be surprised if Starfield, Bethesda's sitting back right now and being like, how the fuck do we add a fucking dodge in our game? Like, you know what I mean? Like, how the fuck do we monetize what Elden Ring did? And
I can already tell that Elder Scrolls 6 is going to end up taking some influence from Elden Ring.
I agree. And it's crazy that they're going to do that, but they're probably going to. But I will say that, like, I'm excited because they already confirmed that, like, Starfield's dialogue is going back to the Fallout New Vegas type dialogue. And I am so excited for that shit. But, like, if Microsoft really cared, Halo Infinite wouldn't be released in the state it is. We might have just got multiplayer. But everything else would have fucking came out when that bitch was ready. Like, if we, like, none of this shit would have happened if they really care about us. They may be doing Game Pass, but that's because they have enough money to fucking throw around. They're Microsoft. they can literally just release a fucking PC. You know what I'm saying? Like a new Windows, like Windows 12, and they've made all their fucking money back that they just threw out buying these companies. They can do whatever the hell they want. That's why they're buying companies. It's because they just can. Like, Sony, the only reason that Sony is alive is because of the PlayStation. Their movies are failing like a motherfucker. Their DVDs are failing like a motherfucker. Their Blu-ray players not even existent. Not even
cares about Blu-ray.
Not even existent anymore. Like, everything that Sony is producing sucks except for PlayStation shit. And look at how they're treating their fans.
Do they still make TVs?
They do, but this is the thing, right? This is the thing.
They suck.
LG glass, bro. LG is on a whole nother league of its own. And so now Sony isn't proprietary in their own TV manufacturer. They outsource their parts. So the thing is like, Sony isn't on the front edge of technology anymore. Microsoft has completely swamped them on that. The parts that they're using inside of their fucking PlayStation are outsourced by Microsoft. It's fucking wild whenever you do your research. So
I will say that Sony, their products are mainline use in film industry work.
That is true. The cameras and everything like that, like that's
cameras, headphones, all that is like industry standard Sony.
Nihad, one of my friends just joined for anybody on the podcast listening, one of my friends is in chat. He said Sony is a Japanese company. Yeah, the thing is that like Xbox is winning in Japan right now.
Wow.
I like actually go look it up. It's like close as shit. Like, I'm being serious. Like, Xbox Microsoft as a brand is winning in Japan. It is fucking wild. And I might be a little outdated on my information, which is why I'm telling y'all to look it up. And if I am, I will retract that comment. But I will say that, like, you go and look at, like, Nintendo is the big player in Japan, honestly. But, like, you go and look at, like, where these companies are right now, it's fucking nuts. And just because Sony's a Japanese company doesn't mean they have to treat everyone like dog shit, dude.
True.
Was that right, Mongo? My secondary backup?
Well, here's the article I found. It's PS5 versus Xbox Series in Japan. It was dated May 19th. So it's a little dated. But according to their numbers, in that week, Japan retailers sold about 2,200 PS5s with 453 PS5 digital units, while Microsoft did 105 Xbox Series X, but 6,100 Xbox Series S units. So, yeah.
6,100?
Yeah, 6,100.
All I'm saying is Microsoft is kind of dubbing right now.
Yeah. Essentially, you can break that down as to, like, twice as many Xbox sold compared to PlayStation 5s.
Well, you also got to think about it like this. When you buy an Xbox and you get Game Pass, you get, like, over 100 games for free.
Yeah.
But if you get a PlayStation and you get PSN, you get like the 3 or 4 games for that month.
You okay, Mongo?
Yeah, old man stuff.
Okay, cool. Yeah, okay. I feel you. No lie. But yeah, like the thing is, J-Mo, on your point is that like the whole thing is Microsoft is winning, I think, all because they're putting on the I care about you approach. And I honestly think that Nintendo is winning in the hearts of customers because they're like, you know, like they're holding their IPs. They're not being like, they're not monetizing the fucking, like they are, but it's subtle. It's the monetization that we all like grew up with, right? So it's very fucking subtle. Like the plushies, the fucking stuffies of shit. Like, you know, like the fucking play mats.
Forever.
Yeah, but they've been doing that forever. But that's classic marketing, which is weird that we're begging to go back to that shit when it was so hated way back in the day. But we're begging to go back to like, that's where we are now. Is we're begging like, please make 1,000 Call of Duty stuffies and make that the DLC shit instead of fucking like, you know, battle passes. Please.
Well, it's because it feels like gaming lost its personality.
Gaming became corporate, dude. Whenever they were trying to fight the big wigs, they became the big wigs. Like gaming was good when everyone was fighting Nintendo. And now look at Nintendo being the good guys in this situation. Like, oh, come buy our platform because we actually give you a good deal. We have a console for $200 that like fucking has a library that outshines everything but the Series S. But guess what? Guess what the Series S can't do? It can't fucking play your 360 discs. So if you're fucked, like if you have a backlog, if you're coming from a 360 to an original Xbox One and now you're upgrading to a fucking like next series, you have to buy the Series X. You can't buy a Series S, and that's like 300 what 350, some shit like that, 300,
Series
or is it
X.
two? Is it 250? Series S, the Series S. How much is the Series
Series
S?
S is $299, I think.
Might be some shit. I do know that like with the Switch catalog, like it having in like oh yeah, our Switch membership is what 25 a month now, some shit like that. Some
Oh
or
no,
shit, it was
it's
60 now. It's 60 now, right? Or 30.
you
Some
said for
shit.
Switch.
Yeah, Switch Online.
It's $20 a year.
Yeah, so and you get
Yeah.
like all of this extra shit. You get the NES, the Super NES, like you get all this shit. Like look at what they're doing, and they're making strives to kind of add content. Which there's the leak about the Game Boy shit. So they're making
Mhm.
I don't think
strives. I don't think that's gonna happen either because I think they'd rather sell it. But like you take that and you kind of look at Nintendo and you're like, well, damn, all that shit we hated for so long, they've just stuck to their morals. Like they've stuck to their morals, and now we want every company to kind of be like Nintendo now, which is very weird.
I will say the Xbox Series S, it is like 298, 299 for the 512 gigabyte, but for the 1 terabyte, it's 580.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Although I've only seen that listed at something called Finger Hut, and I'm not sure what that is.
I mean, if you want, I
Right.
guess if you want base prices of stuff, because you do have to buy shit with bundles all the fucking time now to avoid scalpers, like go to GameStop.com or something and look it up, because like that's probably the best like place to kind of judge like or look at recent solds for GameStop history or something like that, and like that'll probably tell you like I think like the PS5s that were sold like in bundles recently were like 760, and it came with $170 worth of PlayStation Store credit. It came with a $50 GameStop gift card and an extra controller. Like this shit's
Yeah.
crazy, but that's
Yeah,
such a
they,
good value.
They had it
yeah.
at some Best Buy locations to where if you bought like a $500 4K Sony TV, you get a free PS5 digital.
God, I hate that everyone's trying to push the digital shit. That's
Yeah.
another thing that makes me mad, but that's another topic for another fucking podcast. Today
Okay.
is more like I think honestly because we do have JMO, so we do get a third opinion. We can talk about the three big companies. Like
Yeah.
I really like how we kind of devolved into game talk, like because I do think that it is a big aspect of us as a whole for all three of us. Like we all may stick back at shiny hunt Pokemon, and Mongo may have done his Dex adventure, right? But like at the end of the day, we all sit here like Mongo, you play Call of Duty, I play Halo. Like JMO's got the other games down. You know what I'm saying? And unless I'm missing the fact that JMO's a first person shooter. I mean, he's got like the Valorant shit, like that type of shit kind of like over in his corner. So like
I'm from like the PC side of
yeah,
first person shooter.
and I was from the Xbox side and Mongo was probably from PlayStation.
Yeah, until I switched to Vanguard and got PC.
And we all had Game Boys. So we all have like
Yep.
this common ground of just like this is where we are, right? So like I think that honestly at the end of the day, like Nintendo is taking the W. The real W here is from Nintendo. Nintendo is taking the W no matter what. And then
Right.
Microsoft's taking a W in fucking Japan, dude. Like
Man.
that's crazy. No, like cuz Microsoft has never won in Japan.
No, yeah,
That's true.
the article said I read this was like for the first time since 2014, Xbox is on top of PlayStation. And that's just the world too.
Yeah, it was just it's crazy, dude, and it's honestly because of availability. Scalpers are still scalping the PS5, bro,
Oh yeah.
off of brand
mean-
recognition. What's up?
You got
An update on the series.
Oh.
Oh, that's the X. Never mind. I was gonna say I found one for under 500 at Walmart,
ooh.
but that's a Series X, not the S.
All right, JMO, what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say, if you remember a few years ago, Switches were super hard to come by
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
and getting picked up by scalpers and whatnot. But Nintendo made it to where they were producing more and more consoles. Like they literally went into overdrive with production. When's the last time you saw Sony say, "Hey, we're gonna make more PS5s for all the people who didn't get to get one"?
They literally can't though because of the shortage, which is fucking
Yep.
crazy. But even though Nintendo's still pumping them out,
I was about to say Nintendo is going insane with theirs.
I think Nintendo saw it coming and backstocked product. I really do, because it's mobile boards. You got to think about that. It's a mobile board compared to like a liquid die, computer CPU. Like it's a mobile CPU. But they invested into the ARM, which was that Nvidia ARM, which was like their new like Tegra mobile division. Nintendo invested into that bitch. You really don't think that they have like a supply of that shit now? But they did this seeing that the shortage was coming. I do think that Nintendo could see that the shortage was coming. I really do. Like it's like one of those things of like they were like, "Oh, we're one disaster away from the shortage. Like we're one disaster away. One of these mines shuts down." But the thing is like another thing is that even though they were producing more in JMO, they were still hard to find. That's how much of a W Switch took.
Yep.
They're still hard to find now. You can't find an OLED for shit.
True.
Yeah. I actually looked at the PlayStation 5. They're still all only bundles, and the lowest one I've seen is like $650, and the highest one's about $1,029.
See, that's ridiculous because I want a PS5, but I'm not spending a literal arm and a leg for one.
I was lucky on getting it on one of the first wave of the Walmart drops.
Oh, that is lucky. Now, that's the main reason I switched to PC. I was like, okay, well, I can't go upgrade from my PS4. I might as well just, if I'm already paying several grand for a PlayStation 5, might as well just get a PC.
That's exactly what I did.
Yeah. I mean, I was in the same. I got my PC. I think before the PlayStation dropped to start streaming and everything. But it was a joint effort. Like I saved up a lot of money to get the PC. But and to upgrade it, my fiance helped me upgrade it and everything from where it was. But the thing is that I got I actually got dude, my family was a clutch, dude. They were like, "Oh, you're doing so well being an adult. Me and all your family members put together money for you to be able to buy a PlayStation." I was like, "Let's go!" And then couldn't get it on the first 3 Walmart drops, and I was like, "Oh shit, I'm gonna lose it." And the 4th one snagged it. But that's I wouldn't have a PS5 without him. I guarantee you that if that was not the opportunity, because they told me that day, the day that those PS5s were dropping, they were like, "Yeah, you can get one." I'm like, "Well, shit." I feel like a spoiled rich kid for the first time in my life. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like I actually got some monetary value in my shit for one, but and I missed the first 3 drops while I was at work on my phone because Walmart's website's ass. And then and then I got home, loaded it up on my computer, loaded it up on my fiance's laptop, and loaded it up on her phone and my phone. And my phone was the only one that could snag it.
Mm-hmm.
And luckily, I had the pre-card information saved.
True.
By God, I don't think I would have ever gotten one.
My brother, he finally got a PlayStation 5, and the only reason he got it, he was vacationing, or doing some kind of work down near the Gulf, and just happened to go into one of these game stores. I don't even know if it was a GameStop or something else, and they just happened to mention, because it was a smaller town, that we just got this new supply of PlayStations in, and he's like, bet.
Yeah. It's so crazy that a system is so rare that you have to, the minute someone's like, "Oh yeah, we got a stock of PS5s," you have to have an instant back cash of $600 to buy that bitch. You have to have it in your pocket, burning a hole at all times to get one of these systems, because you never know when that shit's gonna pop up on Marketplace for the same value that they bought it at. You never know whenever it's going to be at your local GameStop or local Walmart. I saw a digital edition in my fucking Walmart, and I thought about buying it. There was one left, and I was like, I already have a PS5, but I was like, yo, if I buy this shit and sell it to one of these scalping websites, that's 5 head. I could buy that shit right now. But then I was like, that's a stupid ass investment, because then I'm just going to be left with the digital edition because no one's going to buy this shit from me. I'm only gonna make there's no point in doing this shit if I'm only gonna make $100 because I sell it for an extra 100, right? Because I feel bad.
The thing is, during that whole first year of PS5 release, they had 6 games.
Yeah, That's another thing that was bad. You had to play your fucking PS4 library.
Mhm.
It's fucking stupid. Like, and then half the games were like, it's coming. You're gonna get a PS5 upgrade. We still haven't got half them shits.
Nope.
Really?
Yeah, dead ass. I'm still waiting on the Resident Evil ones. My channel, like, would love to be able to replay these Resident Evils and give me a content reason to do it. Like, oh yeah, the new shits, like new PS5 upgrade for Resident Evil fucking 2 and 3. I hold a world record speed run in Resident Evil 3. I don't know if you guys fucking know this. I did a world record speed run on my channel, and it was my practice attempt.
Damn.
But I will say this of like fucking I think it was like 24th, but like I could only do it because of the PS5. I'm gonna tell you that. I was playing that shit on the PS5. I loaded that shit straight onto the fucking console, but it's still on the It wasn't a PS5 upgrade, so it counts as a PS4. But the thing is that people with PCs are fucking in another category. But the thing is that give me the content. Like, I would love to. Resident Evil's my top 3 favorite franchises of all time. Like, give me a reason to play these games again. They've announced these shits for so long. Like, I'm hyped for, like, I wanted Code Veronica remake. This is like one of the last topics I'm gonna touch on, and I'm gonna let y'all have free reign, and then we're gonna wrap up because we've been going for 20 minutes over. But
Oof.
but I will say this of like Resident Evil 4, I'm excited for. I'm excited for this new take on Resident Evil 4. It looks darker. I don't know if y'all have seen the trailer. It looks darker. It looks scarier. Like, I'm excited for this take of Resident Evil 4. I feel like, games from that era are all orange and bleaked out. But I will say that I wanted Code Veronica remade. Y'all probably don't even know what that is if you're not a Resident Evil fan. But if you are, Code Veronica is the follow-up to Claire's story. It is the true what Resident Evil 3 was going to be. Resident Evil 3 was actually the one that we got right now was in development as a side game. That was going to be for the PS1. The Code Veronica was being developed as the actual true successor to Resident Evil 2 on the Dreamcast. And they took it out of main status and they put it over to the side and gave us Resident Evil 3. But Code Veronica is still considered a mainline game. It is the follow-up to Claire's story. Claire finds Chris. Spoiler alert. Or technically Chris finds Claire. But, like, that's all I'm going to give y'all, because y'all need to go play it if you haven't. But, like, they didn't remake Code Veronica. They're remaking Resident Evil 4. And they're taking it looks like they're taking a spookier approach to it, which I'm happy about. Like, let's get the spookies in. But
we need more horror games that aren't like Five Nights at Freddy's remakes.
I agree.
Please.
But where's the Resident Evil 8 DLC that we were promised? That shit's nowhere to be found.
This is never coming.
But guess what? Resident Evil 4, dude. Let's go. Okay, but yeah, I'll let y'all talk whatever about you talk about. I'll read our sponsor afterwards and we'll bounce.
I guess I'll go first. We'll give JMO the last talking point. I think all I've got to say is, hey, if we're talking about remakes, what about Legend of Dragoon? Really great PlayStation 2 game. I would love a remake.
They said it's on Switch for you to play at any point in time.
That's true. They really did. They said, here you go. here's your remake. It's just a re-release. Here you go. On an unoptimal,
Just like Sonic Colors.
Yeah, on an unoptimal version of the game, running on an unoptimal like controller playset. Here you go.
Boo.
All right, JMO, is there anything you want to shout out, plug, or talk about?
Last thing I'm gonna say is that gaming companies, from a gamer, they just need to stop seeing us as walking wallets and as people who support their craft and support what they're doing and who actually, put food on their tables, but not see us as like their gods or anything, but at least try to give us something that's, worth what we give them.
You don't bite the
And
hand
that's
that
all.
feeds you.
Exactly.
All right, do you have anything to plug though, for real? You want to plug your own stream? Do you want to plug your
I'll plug
channel?
my stream. Go ahead and check me out at Jamafire on Twitch. I will be streaming tomorrow Pokemon Legends Arceus.
Yeah.
Shiny Hunt.
Let's go, dude. Hell yeah. All right, so sorry I couldn't give you the last word, but because our sponsor gets our last word. RetroTech Repair, as always, is based in Atlanta, Georgia. They have years of video game experience, and they have the best quality work I've ever seen in my entire fucking life. And that's crazy for me to cuss during a sponsor segment. Whoa, chat, that's wild. But that's how good of a service they got. They love making your old video games feel like new, like backlit LCD screens for Game Boys, like just everything. HDMI, dude, if you got a PS5 and your HDMI port is messed up already for some reason because you had it plugged up on your table in front of your TV and your kid or dog ran in front of it and it knocked it over and your HDMI cord is already messed up, well, guess what? They can fix your HDMI port on a PS5. Crazy, I know, right? But they can make it work like new from any generation. So go ahead. I'm going to drop the link. Like I said, it'll be in the top link in the description. You can go ahead and contact them. And any listeners who say that they came from the podcast or that Will sent you, you'll get 50% off your entire order. And that is Retro Tech Repair. Guys, thank you for being on the, what are we calling this bitch again? The Due to Copyright podcast.
Copyright.
Thank you for being on the Due to Copyright podcast. JMO, we need to have you on again because I feel like we got way off topic from what we were going to get on. But
Yeah. I take
I
responsibility.
really-
Sorry.
I was just gonna say I really appreciate the opportunity. Like I had a lot of fun today.
yeah, we definitely need to get you on again because Mongo kind of took us in a direction, and then I just followed that. So like I wasn't a host of my own show today. So yeah, and chat. The minute y'all start blowing us up and everything, we'll do an off-topic podcast. We'll do a podcast after the podcast. You guys can listen into our Discord conversation or some shit. But
The after hours.
Mongo, go ahead and plug yourself. I'll let you get last word today, and then we're out.
Oh, okay. Well, what a great honor. Thank you. Twitch.tv/MudpieMongo. Join me. Plan to be live tomorrow for just like JMO, Legends of Arceus. We're going to be working on that Path of Solitude with only alpha Pokemon.
Hey guys, just kidding. I'm getting the I'm just playing. All right, guys. You know where to catch me. But I will catch y'all later. Peace out, everybody, and have a good night or morning whenever you're listening to this.